Guys, I'm going to start the show and give myself a best plane ride. I'm giving out 2 plane rides today, one later, one right now. A lot of turbulence on the way home. Flew through a hurricane. Yeah, yesterday from
a Lamborghini.
Philly. But I felt fucking great. Not a single jolt on my L5S1. I got a great chiropractor. I want to shout him out. Told him I was going to shout him out in the pod a couple weeks ago. Totally fucking forgot. Dr. Tickle is his name, Kyle.
Dr. Tickle, local legend.
I don't want you calling him. I don't want you using him. I don't want Dad calling him. I don't want Dad using him. I don't want you fucking up his schedule. He's brilliant.
I think the cat's out of the bag on that one. I think they're already frequenting Dr. Tickle.
You know, when I first met Dr. Tickle, I legitimately just Googled chiros, and I was like, that guy's got a name. Let's see if it holds up. Let's see if he can tickle my spine and make me feel better. And he has, man. He's a great chiro. So shout out to Dr. Tickle to start the show. Yeah. America's teams.
Are you all right?
Yeah, dude, I have a lot of yelling. I had to sing the fight song. We'll talk about that after America's team.
You know, the Philly fans, they like to spell out Eagles.
I know they do. It's awesome, though.
Yeah.
It's like they're practicing all the time.
When you really buy into it, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So my voice is a little fucked up. I'll explain that. America's teams. Why don't we start there? Number 1, the Philadelphia Eagles, man. The only undefeated team in football. That's some chalky shit. But that was fun yesterday. I mean, it was a lot of fun. So I mean that was that's my number 1 shocker there. Number 2, the Kansas Jayhawks. I guarantee you they're in both of your top 5s.
It'd be a clean sweep.
How could they not be, dude? Game day going to Lawrence. Can you hit us with the list?
I'd be happy to. There are only 7 teams now that have not hosted college football game day.
We are one.
We are one of the Power 5 conferences, needless to say.
Yeah. Let's include fucking Hofstra and stuff.
Cal, Duke, Illinois, Maryland, Rutgers, Syracuse, Virginia.
Illinois is surprising.
Who are you? That's who we are. Who are you most shocked at being on that list?
Maryland usually throws in a good year once a decade. Syracuse too.
Remember the fridge?
Illinois.
E.J. Henderson told me he used to eat soup and just like he'd go in there. E.J. Henderson, one of my buddies, played at Maryland. He was like, yo, when I'd go in there to meet with the fridge, he'd just be drinking his soup. And he'd just have soup all over his turn of the century Nike, you know, the way they used to have those coaches, the jackets that make noise were windbreakers, I guess. Yeah, he'd just be clam chowder all over the Q-zip. He'd just be meeting with his players. Clam chowder on the Q-zip.
I have a story similar to that. I took my visit to Notre Dame, and the coach there
America's teams.
The coach there was
Charlie Weiss.
Diet Cokes.
Oh yeah, these coaches love
like a
Diet
sixer.
Cokes. Yeah, these coaches love
They're
Diet
just
Cokes.
burping it up.
Well, also Charlie Weiss good on the radio.
He's amazing.
He's fun.
When you take a visit and the guy's crushing Diet Cokes, you're like, this guy is all football.
Yeah, he's all ball.
Yeah.
He's all ball. Okay, so number 2 was Kansas. Lawrence is getting a game day. Number 3, Kyle, no offense here. Orlando Brown, Joe Thuney, or Thuney, however you say that. How do you say that? I've
Thuney.
Joe Toon Dog.
Okay, so Creed Humphrey, know how to say that. Trey Smith and Andrew Wiley. That, Kyle, shout out to your guys, dude.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to your guys.
Way to turn that around.
Shout out to those guys, and shout out to Andy Heck.
Yeah, dude, that's America's team right
They're
there.
all made better by Andy Heck, and, you know, they're all like the Infinity Stones. They're good on their own, but, man, when you put them all together.
What's an Infinity Stone?
I just know that Thanos has them, and everybody's in trouble.
Never seen that fucking movie.
And
Have
Thanos is
to nod along with all the memes. Thanos is what?
Thanos is Mahomes in that situation.
Yeah, he is Mahomes. So, and these guys are these his Infinity Stones?
They are.
Yeah, dude, that kind of works. Okay. And then number 4, I'll go with the Bills because they won this week. They're the Bills. And then 5, Mississippi Department of Human Services investigated by the state's Attorney General Office and the FBI.
Or?
Brett Favre.
That's a versus.
I want those guys to get to the bottom of this. So they are one of America's teams.
Look, just because Southern Miss Volleyball looks like they're playing in Jerry World doesn't mean there's anything nefarious going on.
They show up one year and there's just Ford trucks in the behind the end zone there. They don't have an end zone, but
Y'all are
There's just
wearing
Ford trucks
Wranglers this
spinning
year.
on fucking
Well,
platforms.
Mississippi State's famous for the scaffolding, like behind their outfield wall at their baseball field. I'm seeing if they can keep it ratchet at their brand new state-of-the-art facility.
No, they're not. They're not. Do you know what's going on with that?
I've skimmed some headlines.
Okay, yeah, and if these guys can get to the bottom of it, that would be great. They're one of my America's teams. Make your up.
Kansas Jayhawks wins over Tennessee Tech, West Virginia, Houston, Duke. Nobody runs on Duke. And most recently, Iowa State. Jayhawks are ranked number 19 in the country. They will host TCU, number 17 in the country, on Saturday. Game day will be in the house. Air Force. Nobody in the world spends more money on its military than the United States of America. And it showed Saturday with Air Force putting up 356 yards of total offense en route to a 13-10 win over the midshipmen of Navy. Kyle, do you know who won the Air Force-Navy game on Saturday?
I would assume that nobody really won. They couldn't meet again.
Air Force, right. Air Force, 13-10. Air Force quarterback Hazik Daniels was 6 for 8 through the air, so that's a little bit of a...
Yeah, I saw him against Wyoming.
More like ground force.
Ground force, yeah, for sure.
Running the ball.
They're like UPS.
I didn't know the Air Force had tanks.
Exactly. The New York Football Giants.
I guess you could have gone Army there. I went UPS.
The New York Football Giants.
Yeah.
For really all the reasons you mentioned, the Buffalo Bills, they won.
Yeah.
Red, white, and blue. But they wore the sick unis. They wore the mismatch helmet, shirt. It works.
Yeah.
And they ran the Wildcat, for crying out loud, out of necessity. The only way you should be running the Wildcat.
Can you guys briefly tell me about the game? I know you're doing it right now, but don't hold back, because I did not see the game. Travel and other things that were more important.
Sorry about it, Kyle.
I was looking at my list. I missed all that.
DJ got hurt.
The Bears and the Giants.
Oh, Bears, Giants, yeah.
Tyrod got hurt.
Yeah.
Saquon was forced into action to run the Wildcat.
Bro, he ran for like 200.
Saquon
right?
ran for 98 yards in the first possession and a half for the Giants. And it was like, holy shit, we either need to figure out how to get Khalil Herbert past the line of scrimmage or Justin Fields needs to throw the football.
Now, Kyle, to me,
he was taking sacks. Justin Fields was dropping back. There were guys open. Mooney was running naked down the field.
Jihad Ward.
Right?
Fucking holy war on Justin Fields.
And Justin Fields is absolutely
Jihad had a good game. He's balling this year. Yeah. I love Jihad Ward, man.
Chris, really deer in the headlights, Justin Fields in the pocket. And
Philly guy.
You would think a guy like that's not comfortable in the pocket feels comfortable tucking it and running, like it's more where he's natural or whatever. Yeah. It just doesn't even look that way. He looks to be second-guessing his cuts. The guy who makes too many cuts in the open field doesn't know what he's doing. A one-cut guy is dangerous.
Kyle, can I read you something you wrote yesterday about Justin Fields?
Yeah.
I'm still fascinated with and in love with Justin Fields' talents.
He slung a ball down the field yesterday and threw it over everybody.
Sounds like you're doing a little straddling, Kyle.
Hey,
all
look,
I'm saying
Justin
is are you on or off the Fields bus? Because
I'm on the Fields bus, and I think think that they need to do more under center with him, because when they have a running back like Khalil Herbert, when they can get in the I formation, they can involve Kari Blasingame, their fullback, number 35.
Yeah.
That offensive line knows how to get people blocked.
Yeah.
There's hats on hats. Cole Kmet is a good young blocker at tight end. I think when you have a running back room like that and an athletic quarterback can get to the edge, you need to threaten the front seven of the defense, force their eyes and their bodies into gap integrity. You can sneak a guy like Justin Fields out the backside, and that's what they're not doing right now. And I'm frustrated. I don't know who the blame is on because I'm not in those meetings.
Frustrated.
But Justin Fields, obviously in college, he's throwing to All-Americans. He's got All-American protection. Everybody lights it up in a 7-on-7 camp at quarterback.
Yeah.
But in the NFL, you need to do things within complementary offense, and they're not doing that for him in Chicago. I don't know if it's his unwillingness to feel comfortable there or the offensive coordinator's unwillingness to get him into comfortable positions.
Sir, this is an America's team.
All Americans.
I say, sir, this is a Wendy's.
Like in college?
This is an America's team.
Velus Jones?
I have to watch the Bears every week.
I know, Kyle. I know how you feel when I had to watch, my other former teams, and they've sucked. Your team sucks. Like, it's just going to be a long year, Kyle.
Hey.
But what I'm saying is you got to,
I'm on the Justin Fields
okay, because
train.
right now you seem like the guy in Saving Silverman where he's like,
I've been saying it since the beginning. I'm 100%
out of the truck at the end of the movie.
on the Justin Fields train, but I'm also 100% on the I'm going to bitch about this until it looks better.
Okay, I'm not, because I'm just blindly on the Justin Fields train. I don't need any evidence. He's tall. We give other tall quarterbacks a bunch of chances. My thing is like, let's give this tall quarterback a chance. Let's give him more than a year and a half in fucking Vietnam out there.
First Miller Lite mention of the day goes to Jamie Gillan. He's the Scottish Hammer. He's the punter for the New York Giants. Booms one to Velus Jones, who drops it. Oh, yeah. Scottish. Went to Arkansas,
I would just sit with him at lunch and listen to him talk.
From Scotland to Pine Bluff, Arkansas College, now in the Big Apple of East Rutherford, New Jersey. Yeah. So he booms one to Velus Jones, who drops it, seals the game. You would think Mr. Reliable Graham Gano misses a field goal at the end, and then Chicago runs a sick 22 lateral
45-second play.
Oh, it was awesome.
Really, I love those. Can I watch that real quick?
45-second play.
Can somebody pull that up for me while we talk?
In which Justin Fields threw a dime, but it was 30 yards behind the line of scrimmage and across the field. He went from numbers to numbers on a rope.
Yeah.
Hit a dude in the hands, and I'm like, we need to design more of those.
So let's do more desperation plays. All I'm saying is we've seen a lot of quarterbacks, and I'm not comparing Justin's skill set to any of the guys that made it. Like, he still has to prove out. But, I mean, he's got some tantalizing physical abilities, as you outlined in your tweet. I would just like to see us give him the same chance. And I know it's frustrating to watch at times, but they just did not invest in his success this year. So I just want to give him a shot. That's all.
New York Giants, 3-1, one of my America's teams. They're headed to London, England.
Yeah.
All these games are in London, yeah?
Yes.
Which is a nice segue to my fourth America's team.
They're different stadiums.
Which is England.
Yeah, okay.
England, which cucked the double doink.
Yeah, they did.
For one. There's bad officiating. Like, we got a lot of that over here. The crowd was into it more so than over here. They're really doing American football better than we do it. And a game of footy broke out.
That's exactly right. This is the smartest thing the NFL could have done, was just a bunch of fucking kicks.
Greg Joseph was 5 for 5. They got a 60-yarder from Will Lutz. They got a miss at the end from Will Lutz and the double doink. However, I don't understand synthetic turf. And maybe you people can help me out with this.
I can't.
I can.
Let me just read you something. The Hotspur Stadium, it is the first and only stadium outside North America that is specifically designed for NFL games. The club intentionally designed the field so that it could host American football games for years to come. Okay. It's the world's first dividing, retractable American football field underground. The club is able to disconnect the soccer pitch and retract the individual sections out of sight. Once those steps are taken, it reveals a synthetic football field underneath. Here's where my question comes in. To keep the hidden football field in proper shape, the club uses built-in LED lights, automated mowers, and irrigation year-round. Mowers and irrigation for a fake football field?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
So, like, are all these fields getting watered with the rubber pellets?
Let's talk about golf. Let's talk about how much unnecessary watering of golf courses are around the world. Kyle, you're one of the biggest climate.
Yeah, but that's grass.
Hold on.
That's Bermuda and Georgia.
You need to be able to take a little earth with your swing. You don't want to be hitting
golf
off
courses
the mat.
are a suck on Mother
Holy
Earth.
shit! This is America's team. Let's not be blasphemous here.
Why are we watering fake fields?
That is the good question.
Why are we mowing
electricity
fake fields?
for lights?
Correct.
What are we doing
golf
here?
guy over here throwing stones at the Hotspur Stadium.
No. Why are we growing turf?
Why are we lighting, mowing, and watering synthetic turf?
So that you'll talk about it on a podcast. It's a big.
Man.
Like when a guy has a cool thing at their house and you come over and they explain the fuck out of it. Like, this is how this works. Wow,
this is my truck.
That's kind of how they are. Like that's a solid 15-minute walk around the field for a shareholder.
Thank you.
And they go,
It is a shareholder discussion.
We can't write off our gambling losses, by the way. Had a CPA jump into the
Did you really?
jump into the DMs? Yeah.
Thank you.
His explanation was likely good. I didn't follow it, but we can get into that
Was it
another
sketchy
time.
at best?
I trust CPAs.
America's teams, Kansas, Air Force, New York Giants, England, and I'll wrap up with the University of Mississippi, which is 5-0. They wore a weird helmet. They allowed Kentucky to cover, which I appreciated. And while I can't articulate why Rebels is problematic in this country.
Yeah.
I can't articulate why Ole Miss is problematic, but I guarantee it is.
Probably.
It just has to be.
Couple Googles.
So I think we're likely a decade away from the University of Mississippi Land Sharks.
Yeah.
Surprised it hasn't happened in the last few years.
I thought those helmets were interesting, man.
Mississippi mud butts.
It's kind of like, that'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be real good. It's kind of like something happened, like they got mixed up in the wash with like a bunch of blue raspberry Slurpees.
It kind of reminded me of a fucking beer, like a closet at a gas station where you walk in and all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, it's cold. Like, that's what the helmets look like to me.
A little frosty.
Like a little frosty. Yes. Like I was trying to find like an exotic
30
lager
rack
in the back of a fucking Quick Trip.
Listen to the names on this offense. Jackson Dart.
Yeah, that's good.
Jonathan Mingo. Quinshawn Judkins.
That one's good.
Yeah.
Ole Miss.
America's team.
Lane Train got a little conservative there at the end, but the defense bailed him out.
What a play to finish that game.
Hey, here's one thing I heard 7 times this weekend. And I'm not saying Lane Kiffin said this. Hey, he didn't play well, and he'll be the first to tell you that. Well, Coach, you were just the first to tell us that.
You beat him to the punch, didn't you?
Yeah.
What if a player was like, well, he didn't coach well? He'd be the first to tell you that. Coaches cannot stand being accountability coming from anybody but themselves. They are they're the biggest on accountability.
That's my job.
Yeah, that's my job.
He didn't play his best, and I'm going to be the first to tell you.
Yeah, well, that might just be a personal thing because I never noticed that, but that makes sense.
Is that 5?
That's 5. Kyle Long's America's Teams.
Hit me with your America's Team.
I'm getting the hang of this America's Team thing, and thank you guys for being patient with me.
Oh, patient.
I'm starting off with the Patriots. Obviously, fucking Mel Gibson's back, and so is Zappe. And Zappe's parents didn't even know he was going to be playing or dressing or even in the game. So he was in the game.
Were they there?
Patriots, probably not, Chris. Probably not. Realistically,
Hollow man, his parents, if they weren't
realistically, they probably weren't there. I'm going to just say that was big. Zappe was a Western Kentucky Hilltopper,
That's right.
I believe it was.
That's right.
Chris, you played AAU on the Hilltoppers.
Do you remember when we had free reign, 14-year-old year, Dad funded an AAU baseball team. He said, you get to pick the name of the team and the uniforms. We went black and teal, and we were the Hilltoppers.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that's my first America's Team. Really, there's 2 there. Hilltoppers, but Ole Miss, I know we have overlap there, but I'm talking about their Kappa Alpha fraternity.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
that's America's Team because they had
guys that were fighting.
They had a UFC fight at a football game, and they were well dressed. There was team uniforms, everything, and they were throwing them things up there.
And them things don't hurt.
It was fun.
I got jumped at a frat house once. I walked out of that motherfucker. I was like, what, did something happen to me?
Punches hurt, man. If a kid hits you,
like 14 people hitting me in the head.
If a 3-year-old hits you in the face, if a 23-year-old hits you in the face, I don't care what Greek society they're a part of.
Punches annoy when
they
guys
hurt.
like that hit you. They don't hurt.
Punches
they annoy.
hurt. So my second America's Team that's not yours is Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons. I want to talk about the scariest mascot. Okay, Demon Deacons. They beat Florida State. No longer, I can't say unconquered because that's their tribal motto.
Yeah.
The Seminole Indians.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say the
Native
Florida State
Americans.
Seminoles, the football team, is no longer unbeaten.
Yeah.
And it's because of the Demon Deacon.
Yeah.
And if you really do a deep
Conquered.
dive and look at the Demon Deacons mascot, it's the scariest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Have you seen Providence?
Deacon?
Yeah,
that just sounds racist.
Have you seen the Providence? Yeah, it does sound racist.
And then you throw
We
a
need
demon behind
We
it.
need to look into that.
Deacon?
We know, dude. But chances are there's been some racist deacons, bro.
Help me out. I'm stupid. I'm not educated folk.
It's a church guy.
Yeah, well,
It's not like the church has ever done anything wrong.
don't get me started, Macon.
You're not wrong. I do love the mascot.
The
though.
Missouri Tigers.
We're gonna put a poll out. Is the Demon Deacons a racist mascot? he just looks it.
Just look at him.
Well, sure.
Okay, so the Missouri Tigers, Chase Daniel was like, hey, if we beat Georgia, I'm buying drinks for everybody at the bar. Big Cat also matched the offer. Obviously thinking it was like, it's Georgia. They're not going to win.
Yeah.
And then it was a close fucking game. And then you end up seeing the big kicker, big hefty.
That was fun.
Big, heavy, healthy kicker.
Yeah.
Making a big shot there and a nice little Ric Flair almost.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Off
but
the
it was-
field. I'm going to call it that for lack of a better term.
He has sauce.
A lot of sauce there. I'm going to say, what did I say? Oh, Minnesota Vikings. You said London. I'm just going to say Minnesota Vikings. How many kids are going to be born named Kirk?
None.
In London.
None, dude. None.
In 9 months.
No, they're going to name.
Or Lutzy or...
No. You know what? They really do love their football. It sounds like the Super Bowl out there. I mean, and they cheer. You were talking about this earlier. Like, they cheer all the time.
Oh, the kickoff.
That's what I love about like London. They're just fucking
loud.
excited about football, dude.
Sometimes you look around at a home stadium when you're stateside and you're like, why is there no fucking energy here? Can the only people that come, only the people that can afford to come here are just going to be quiet? You know, real fans are at home screaming at the TV because it's so fucking expensive to go to games. At least in Chicago it was.
Yeah, well, in London they're excited, and the Vikings are 3-0 in London, by the way. So I mean that they do this.
One last America's team.
Oh gosh,
USC Trojans.
Yeah,
a bit of nostalgia there, Macon.
Yeah.
When I'm watching this new look Trojans team under Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
Every other guy that's making a play is a transfer from somewhere. It's like, you know, they're back
Out
to
of
buying
Virginia
their
guys.
guys.
Virginia. Yep.
Virginia, not a receiver.
You say that, but we actually threw to him as left tackle.
That's the
and
that was the joke.
Hey guys, how about that 15 lateral play in the Bears game?
You've seen it now.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you still haven't.
No, nobody put it up.
Can you?
Fuck.
Can
I should have
either
said
of
it
you?
twice.
Can either of you say Kirk in a British accent?
No, you can't.
I think that was pretty good.
Cook.
I think the most
Kirk.
British name on that Vikings roster is probably Dalvin.
Dalvin Madison.
That's good.
Yeah. By the way, I want to say this right now before we get into the Philly game, the Philly
Jefferson.
trip. Yeah. Before we get into the Philly trip, Dalton looks better than Jameis because he's healthy and because you just feel like you maybe trust him a little bit more. There's not as much like trauma watching Jameis throw 50-50 balls over the years. But make no mistake about it, their problems are not solved. They are not solved. I mean, like, I don't think they didn't have points for they didn't have a first down for almost like 20 minutes, and then they had 7 points about midway through the third. So it's not like they're a hell of a lot better, but at least they're stable. And then I do want to say this about that game too. That call, the Honey Badger hands to the face call, was absolutely bogus and cost me money. Now I pushed on that bet, but I feel like that call was so bad I want some money back. And then Thielen got away with a face mask on the PI down at the goal line.
Well, we got the.
It really is it's Great Britain's team.
Yep,
they're Great Britain's team, dude.
We got the Justin Fields.
Okay, I got the
45-second lateral play here.
Now I love this because my biggest pet peeve in football, Macon, is when people get tackled with the football at the end of regulation.
Look at this ball.
Just throw the ball.
Watch this ball he throws.
Kyle, how can you not be a believer after seeing that?
So talented.
How can you not be a believer after seeing that throw?
And look at this throw.
Is that Pettis?
Now here's where it's
Pettis
like,
even on that team? Okay, yeah. 16
Lucas Patrick.
Damn, dude.
Lucas Patrick on the ground just like Tevin Jenkins.
Bro, you got a real shot here.
That was a great
You
lateral.
had to get it to Mooney. That was
But they're not done just yet.
Oh, my God. The play's still going on. There's clown noises playing
Olin
in my
Kreutz
head.
is on the field.
Okay, and Daniel Jones has a bowl cut, huh?
They just put a bowl on that thing.
What's going on with that, dude?
Lloyd Christmas.
Bro, by the way, I felt like you yesterday. I had to be down in the field, right? And we're about to talk about Philly. And it was windy as fuck. I mean, like torrential downpour, windy as fuck. I obviously didn't get my hair in a good place. Had to take my hat off for the anthem, right?
Oh, no.
And the thing's blowing around like a fucking toupee, man. You're just, when you feel it like, and you're like, damn, I hope nobody takes a picture of me standing next to Fletch right now looking like the guy in Something About Mary. I mean, honestly, dude, I totally felt for you because you know how you're always like, you want your hair to be perfect like a Lego man.
Correct.
Like you want Lego man hair.
That's why I just took the Lego man off.
Yeah, that's good. That was really good. So the weather was terrible in Philly. It was awful. The hurricane came up to Philly, and that's why my layup line is Halle Berry by Hurricane Chris. Did you know that's the rapper's name?
Hurricane Chris.
Yeah. So I brought the rain up there, and it was ugly, bro. And I got to tell you, I forgot how fucking cold we are on the field, dude. I got down there, and I was shaking a little bit, dude. You know, I've dropped a little weight, so but it was freezing. I
That
don't know
first
what
cool of the year is like to the bones. Cool.
Oh, it was to the bone.
You
and
want soup, right? You want to hang out with the fridge.
I want some chunky soup. But it was fun. Friday night, got up there, got really drunk with Bo. He wore me out. Connor Barwin, Connor drove his fucking bicycle to the bar. He really does live that life, dude. He's about that life. He's not a poser.
That's amazing.
Had a helmet and everything. Had his helmet under his arm at the bar.
That's incredible.
Yeah, like he really is that guy, dude. Love Connor, love Bo.
That's my viewing
Did
party.
he lock up his bike? Was there a bike lock?
There was a bike lock. Fishtown, Philly. Had the fish, and Fishtown is pretty good.
For how many hours was a helmet under his
I don't know,
arm?
as long as we were at the bar, dude, and we stayed a while. So we had a great time. I met a lot of Greenlight listeners at the tailgate Sunday morning. Shout out to Joe Maycoit, especially Kyle. He was out there in the rain.
The best.
Bringing the energy, selling raffle tickets.
He was on the mic?
Yeah, of course he got
The
on the
best.
mic, dude.
If you've never heard Joe Maycoit at a tailgate.
We'll have to have him on the pod sometime.
Incredible.
Yeah, I'm going to get a text right as this drops.
Yes.
So it was good. We raised a lot of money. We had fun. I got out Friday night. I love being back in Philly every time. I got a hug from Doug. It was a great hug. I met Ryan Phillippe,
Wow.
which is news to me that you say it like
Good
Phillippe.
pronunciation, too.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Of MacGruber fame and other films, but he's an Eagles fan, so he said he wants to come on the pod.
Stop.
Yeah, we're gonna get him on the pod. Handsome son of a bitch.
Tua's a big fan.
Is Tua a big fan?
Yeah.
The film MacGruber.
Especially-
That's what I heard.
back.
I heard. I couldn't
Nobody
tell if that
panic. He's laughing at MacGruber.
I couldn't tell if that was a parody tweet.
Yeah.
I really couldn't. It was not a parody tweet.
Well, now that you say it, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, so the tweet was that Mike McDaniels had said we were laughing watching MacGruber on the way home, which makes me like Tua even more. It's hard not to like Tua the person.
It's amazing.
You know?
Hearing those words come out of your mouth, that could not have been a serious quote.
A lot of people were like, yeah, when I had a concussion, you're not supposed to watch any TV or see any bright lights. But evidently, the literature has evolved on that, and you can watch MacGruber on the way home in the plane. But it was just a ridiculous.
But he didn't have a concussion.
No,
And
right.
it's an ongoing investigation.
It's yeah. We're not doctors has been the new rallying cry of the some of the media.
And the doctor who cleared him's no longer a doctor. There's a bunch of people not being doctors.
Yeah.
Hollow man.
Yeah. So, anyways, we got to get Ryan on the pod. They got jumped, man. They were down 14-0, and honestly, with the rain, I said this couldn't play out any worse for them, because when you spot somebody 2 scores, you're probably going to have to throw the ball a little bit. And the game plan to me was to keep the ball out of the quarterback's hands on both sides of the field. It's like there's no need. You got some great positive momentum with Jalen Hurts. There's no need to go out and have a game where there's a couple turnovers because of wet ball. Now, you did finally get a bad break for him. He threw a pick early, pick 6. I was walking to the bathroom. I was in the main
Tip
concourse.
drill to start the game.
And I could hear the fucking, when you're walking to the bathroom.
Going out.
People are fucking pissed. Just beating up the urinals. Like, people are upset.
And that's what I said. I mean, my first note when watching that was like, strange things happen in spooky games with weather, particularly at home. It's like you've had that feeling where the game starts in an ominous fashion, like a tip drill,
and it gets
pick
quiet.
6, and it's like, fuck, the energy that we just stored up for 5-6 days is now sucked out of the stadium. You have to manufacture it.
Yeah.
And I wrote the turning point as Jacksonville up 14-7. Miles Sanders scores on the right side on an inside zone behind Lane Johnson, which is a real vanilla block for offensive linemen, a play side drive. It's one you're not expected to dominate, but I made a note, all caps, Lane Johnson dominated his block, play side drive. That was the emphatic tide coming back in and turning for the Eagles I had. And obviously a lot of the wet weather stuff was.
I got to know.
I don't want my right tackle half-assing a play side drive.
A lot of guys do, because for those at home that don't understand, running backs like to press the ball
my
front
right
side.
tackle.
Running backs like to press the ball to the front side to
Yes.
influence the linebackers and get defensive linemen to play into their gaps, and then they go backside. That's where it opens up, right behind the center, right guard, left guard. That little area is where it's going to open up. Good running backs understand that, but good teams with great right tackles can just say, keep it front side, run it behind Lane.
So
It's like high school football.
Speaking of backsides,
Yeah.
My first note that I wrote out here was she had dumps like a truck, thighs like what?
Let me
Baby,
see the
move your butt. I think I'll see it again. Cisco had the pick six to make it 14-0.
He did.
Yeah.
Cisco had the pick six. Kyle, I'll give you another turning point. That was good. I'll give you another turning point. So you get the pick six, you get an 80-yard drive, and then you go 4th and 3. I think you get stopped. I could be wrong here, but I think Fletch had the forced fumble that set up their first scoring drive. I mean, they got a chance down 14-0 at home to really hear the boo birds. I heard some boos.
Wow.
Early in that game. I mean, it's a 3-0 team.
I think Lawrence just fumbled it like by himself, like running.
Does he have small hands? I'm asking that a lot about guys.
A lot of hair product in his hand, maybe from the
I don't
night
think
before.
he has small hair. Yeah, well, no, Kyle. There was you mix that with rain. It's like
Yeah, he had Hurricane Ian in and around his hand.
Might as well be KY.
just all day, dude.
No,
but I mean that was the whole thing with Trevor Lawrence was, and the Jags. They had been really good in the turnover department, and they were -3 yesterday. So that luck had to run out. He has huge hands.
Yeah, 10 inches.
Well, what the fuck are we doing? Hold on to the football.
10 inches. How big is 10 inches?
How big are your hands, Kyle?
How big is 10 inches, Macon?
How big are your hands, Kyle?
Tip to tip, 11.
You got an 11-inch hand?
Yeah.
They need to put you in
Like
a quarterback.
pinky to here. Yeah, that's
A hurricane
Rain
quarterback.
quarterback.
Yeah, so it was all about turnovers, man. I mean, like Hassan Reddick, we were talking about this, forced 2 of them, picked up 2 of them. That was a big game for him.
strip sack in the 4th quarter, takeaway for the defense, another one. When they needed a touchdown to put the game out of reach with 9 minutes left, they brought a puller. They ran basic stuff offensively. I love the faith they have in their offensive line, particularly in big spots. They don't have to put the pressure on Jalen. He doesn't have to be perfect and make a perfect throw to Goddard down there in the goal line, and he didn't. But they have the offensive line to make up for that, especially in those tight areas of the field.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, they got punched in the mouth, man. That was the bottom line. Is like you were waiting for Philly to have to respond to some adversity. Jacksonville's a good team. You knew it. It was a big atmosphere with Doug coming back. Agnew had a big game, by the way.
Meg knew it all along.
Yeah, Agnew it all along. Meg's fantasy team. Poor gal. I'm like, I walked to the seats because I was down on the field and then had to walk up, and I was like, Meg, did you see that Agnew? Agnew's balling out. She's like, I didn't even put it in my lineup. So they ran the rock for over 200. And here's a big one. We just talked about Hassan Reddick, but Bradbury with a huge pick late. Oof. And Reddick's stepping up with that closer with 12 minutes to go. I mean, like, the new guys stepping up, guys that have been there stepping up. They are a good football team. I don't know, like, at this point, and I know I had the Niners in the Super Bowl, but it's hard to really – it's hard to say that anybody's better in the NFC right now. And I'm not trying to be a homer. I wanted to wait for them to get punched in the mouth to say that. Again, look at the rest of their schedule. They're going to be favored in most of their games, if not all. So, yeah. The birds are good, and Kelsey got Doug's jacket at the end of the game, which was heartwarming shit. My heart was full.
That was cool.
My heart was really full there.
Took him a while to get it over his wrists.
Yeah, it's always hard to get the jersey off. I imagine the jacket's a lot easier. You guys got big wrists.
Big wrists, wet.
Yeah.
I got
wet big wrists.
Easy now. I wrote QB sneak heaven because there was a lot of 4th and 1s, 4th and goals, and
Yep.
3rd and 1s. A lot of QB sneaks, a lot of faith in the O-line. These are the type of games I love to watch. I hate when guys are trying to gadget and dial up shit when it's just like, let our athletes have the ball and run it.
Shall we discuss the final 4th and 3? Because the Eagles were up 29-21. I understand it's raining, but Jake Elliott, they eschewed the Jake Elliott 39-yard field goal to put it away.
Yep.
And instead did not pick up the 4th and 3, giving the ball back to Jacksonville, and Trevor fumbles for the final time. Bad call, I say.
You say bad call.
From Nick Sirianni, yeah.
Yeah, but you just said great. I feel like people would have said great call. By the way, Nick Sirianni, tall.
How tall?
Really tall. My height.
6'3".
I think we looked eye to eye. 3As. 6'3" and 3As.
You guys kind of want to wrestle, like when you looked eye to eye?
No.
Wrestle or kiss?
No.
Nick Sirianni.
I wanted to hug him. I wanted to hug the guy. He just had great energy.
Not an option.
Kiss.
Well, Kyle, wanted to hug the guy, dude. He's got the birds 4-0 now. He's tall. He's got great energy.
Love it.
And he let my family come by the facility and kind of walk around. I got to see some of my old buddies.
That's awesome.
Had to I got to kind of convince my kids that I had a job before I was a podcaster, and they got to see that. So it was a cool weekend, man. So shout out to the Eagles, man. Great organization. They take care of their alums, and they're 4-0. Hey, Washington, Dallas, Carson simultaneously kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. Can we say that anymore?
Is that kosher?
Was that game, is that kind of it? Like, have we just seen enough now? I feel like collectively, and this guy was leading the league in yards for like a week or two. He was on all the graphics, and Reed and I were talking about it last night. He was getting texts from some of his buddies who were like Washington fans, and they were like, I am over this. And, it's early in the season to be late for Carson Wentz. I don't know that he lasts the next, I don't know, call it 2 weeks.
He screwed up the stinky line. Stinky line of the week, 3.5 points.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It did stink.
Stinky line watchers were all on the commies, the contenders.
Stinky. Yeah.
I don't know how you can go out and watch the Commanders and say that you're going to put any faith in them, regardless of a line. Like, I mean,
it's pretty depressing. I think at some point there's probably going to be a quarterback change.
The pocket presence of Stevie Wonder, the internal clock efficiency of a
Ray Charles,
something that doesn't have a clock.
This podcast.
I guess there's clocks everywhere though.
So yeah, basically, as that scene's unfolding and Doug's, giving Jalen Hurts a hug, and like on the other screen, if you're sitting at home, you got Carson and the Commanders. That experiment kind of going awry. You can't help but think, golly, even if you doubted Howie and them, even if drafting Jalen Hurts precipitated, is that the word? Topical word, precipitated, the decline of Carson Wentz mentally, because I think a lot of it is mental for him. He's got talent. He just, he's been through a lot. I was talking to somebody this weekend. I don't know if I would have been okay after the Nick Foles thing, dude. Think about how fucking most people are like, oh, get over it. Most guys we know are not getting over that. You think it's your team, you get hurt, Nick Foles comes in. Next thing you know, there's a statue, and you're in Indy, getting run out of the building. This is his last chance, and I think it's probably over.
And I'm glad you bring up the mental side of it. And obviously, I don't know what Carson's going through, but each one of us that have played the game know that it's the most anxiety-inducing, fear-inducing thing that you could ever do, at least within professional sports, outside of like combat sports. So each one of these guys has, from Carson Wentz to the 53rd guy on the roster, has mental stuff that he's dealing with, and you can weaponize yourself if you really work on it, and it's something that I regret not doing as a player. I feel like I could have been a more effective teammate.
Turning into a weapon.
Weaponizing your mind, the same way that we lift weights, the same way that we train our hearts and our cardiovascular system, the same way that we're training our minds with playbook and installation, and I'm happy to see an influx of guys like you bringing it up. Like,
he needs to listen to more podcasts.
The mental side's big, bro, and sometimes you need to let some air out a little bit, in order to be you.
No, I think we both we're pretty strong-minded cats. Like, I don't know if I could have handled what Carson went through. I'm just being real. Like, I say that maybe I could, because you never know until you're in that situation. But I think most people who have kind of thumbed their nose at, hey, this is, big shit, like, get over it. Like, hey, that's a major event in your life. And
health stuff. He's dealt with health stuff.
Yeah.
On top of it.
So, I mean, I'm not making excuses. The guy, as I've said time and time again, it's his decision whether he wants to take care of the football or kick the stubborn habits, but here we are. And on the other field up north, Philly is getting the job done with the new guy that replaced him. So it's a cold game, man. It's a cold fucking game, dude.
And Howie's doing it at a below the market price for that quarterback, and he's able to spend on other guys. And now you're seeing a complete
he's got second or third best MVP odds.
New Orleans,
it's sick.
New Orleans pick. That's going to the Eagles, and that keeps getting better, right?
That's wild, man.
I mean, they are stacking them up. You'd be like, they should, the way that team is constructed right now, I feel like they should be like the Rams. They have so many players that they nab from other teams and free agency and trades that are good players. They're not like, why did Tennessee get rid of A.J. Brown? Why did fucking New York, Macon, get rid of Bradbury?
AJ Brown looks great in that uniform.
There's all types of guys that are showing up and playing well, and you'd be like, how did they put this super team together? It's like a mini super team. There's not a bunch of superstars, but when you add up all the 8s on that team,
it's not an S tier, it's an A tier.
Whatever
team.
that means.
It's like one less than elite.
We should start doing tiers for America's team.
S, A, B, C, D, E, right?
Yeah.
Most importantly, what do we think about this uniform?
The
combo?
the black uniform.
I thought RG3 had a great tweet and an idea where he said, bring the burgundy on where the gold
God, I thought you were going to
is.
say the Antonio Brown dick tweet.
We're not there yet. Save it.
Okay.
Swap the yellow and the red.
Swap the yellow and the red. I don't
Yeah.
think we'd be able to see anything.
You would be able to see a dark red number with a piped yellow outline.
Okay.
And you would avoid, as RG3 said, the Steelers.
I got an idea. Wear the fucking throwbacks.
Because it looks like the
without
Steelers.
racist
It looks
stuff
like
on
the Steelers
helmet.
jersey, right?
Wear the fucking throwbacks without the racist stuff
With
on
the
the
W
helmet.
on there.
Just put a W on there, dude.
I will say, as weird as this looks, especially in a rivalry game with two storied franchises, if you're going to try to look like a Big 12 team, they did a good job of that.
Yeah, they do look Big 12-y. Look like they should be
They
playing in
look
Jerry's
like a
World.
Friday Night Lights movie team.
Or, yes.
They look like Dallas Carter.
Yes.
No, they look
a
like
movie.
They
It's
look.
a movie.
They legitimately. It's stolen valor. They're trying to look like a military team. They're trying to look like one of the
U.S.
teams
Army All-American
Yeah, they should
team.
like a new
Yes.
branch of the military just popped up and started playing football.
Yeah.
Dan Snyder's
Bunch of Navy SEALs.
his subpoena evading Coast Guard. You know, like do you know where he is right now? By the way, he's still on his yacht.
Being protected by the Coast Guard?
Yeah, his big yacht, dude.
Is he still in Croatia? Is that why?
That's what Bill. No,
That's
Bill looked great in
Yeah,
that
I thought that
Croatia
was
patch.
photoshopped, by the way.
Bill and weather. I mean, I know it's thinning and there's not much more of it, but he's got a great hairline.
Yeah,
I mean,
he looks good, man.
It's in the headset's helpful though in that case. On the other side of this one, Cooper Rush. Is he your starting quarterback in Dallas?
Absolutely, he's my starting quarterback.
Wow. Okay.
He's winning games, man. That's what this game's all about. It's winning games.
I reckon I'm with you. But the doctor, I mean, you're paying him a lot of money. There's a Miller Lite mention flying the wall.
I'm not
the
paid
third
to
straight
do
week.
math.
People whose net worths are north of
Jera, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Would love to
I don't
hear
think
those
he's. I think
conversations.
Dak's the guy.
Dak's the guy.
I think Dak's the guy
I think they struck
until
gold.
he shows you he's not the guy. The team has to play better when Dak's in there.
Short leash.
I think Dak is the next LA Rams quarterback.
Ooh.
And I think that Cooper Rush is going to be the stand-in until they deem somebody else draftable enough to be the
I think
quarterback.
Jimmy G's the next LA Rams quarterback.
I'm just going out on a limb.
Yeah. All right, so Bucks Chiefs.
Okay.
We really like that game. I mean, that if you bet the Chiefs, you really like that game. Oh,
So just a mindset, right,
you're on
Chris?
the Bucks.
Yeah.
Chris, just the mindset going into this game. You get those elite competitors, Pat, Travis, all these guys who played and lost to the Bucks. I did the pregame for that Super Bowl. It was ugly. They have a horrible taste in their mouth. And to see them coming out hot, looking like the Chiefs, they put the Colts performance behind them. Pat slinging it all over the yard. You mentioned the offensive line.
Yeah.
I love the effort I'm seeing from Orlando Brown. It's an echoed sentiment throughout that offensive line room. The guys are finishing with a violent shove. On the goal line run, Trey Smith finishing a guy in the back of the end zone with a push.
Yeah.
Talk about a play side drive.
Yeah, I mean, these are that's good. That is good. Play side drive, backside drive. I forgot to mention Landon Dickerson, nice backside drive.
Yeah. Gotta get them all. We gotta get all the
Got to get all the
backside drive.
BSDs. Fournette, a beast. Karlaftis looks amazing.
Yeah.
He runs like He-Man. He plays the run. He plays the pass. He's a beast.
He's just gonna play a long time.
I'm supportive of Mediterranean DNs.
Any
with
others?
long last names.
Yeah. I like the punters. Georgopoulos of Mississippi State lives in a white clay house above the ocean. That's how I imagine it.
Mykonos.
George Pickens with a great game. George Karlaftis.
Yeah, the George.
It's really a moment
George are on
for
fire.
curious
I want to say
Georges.
603 days, man. That's how long Patrick Mahomes had to wait. 603 days. I actually added it up. Didn't add it up. I just Googled it. How long since February 2nd, 2021?
He's been marking it on the wall, probably.
Like Castaway. He's been in his house just fucking up the walls. His wife's like, What are you doing, Patrick?
They were geared up.
New wallpaper. He's just, so they were geared up, and Shaq Barrett had some words to say about like they were going to get after the passer. It was going to be a big game for them. They had 6 sacks last week, but this is really going to be more like a coming out party. They had 3 sacks, same amount they had in the Super Bowl, but the pressure rate was just much, much less. I don't know, fucking hectic. It was just hectic back there the whole time. And you know how deep he drops anyways. In the Super Bowl, I felt like every play he had to bail out of the back of the pocket. There was chaos at his feet. This is what it looks like when Patrick Mahomes is comfortable. And this fucking game was like I'd never heard of any of these guys, man. Brady's throwing to like a fucking guy named Keefe.
Keefe, yeah.
41. Number 41, Keefe.
Yeah.
Looks like a thick accountant, bro.
I think they said
like,
he caught 12 balls in college.
I don't do the Ryan Clark here. Somebody's going to be like, yo, you watch Keefe?
I think
Derwin James is going to call me out. No, but Keefe, Pacheco, like who the fuck are all these guys, man? Like I like name 5 guys that caught balls last night for the Chiefs. Can you? Not name Kelsey.
Marquez
Juju
Valdez,
Smith-Schuster,
Scantling,
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Isaiah Pacheco.
You're gonna. I named one.
Jet McKinnon.
Okay, good. You guys are there.
Okay.
But there's some guys in there. You're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Noah Gray. Well, that was a run. He took the snap. So a couple things that I love from the Chiefs game. The Blake Bell, former quarterback from the Oklahoma Sooners. We've seen him go quarterback sneak from motion, from tight end, get under center. Blake the Belldozer Bell. We saw Noah Gray do that yesterday. That's a Blake Bell staple. I love to see Clyde Edwards-Helaire. His new helmet is unbelievable. I've loved it the whole season. I really do like it. It's grown on me.
Fucked up helmet.
It was ugly at first.
He got hit right in the helmet.
It's
on that
almost
drop.
like the Tesla pickup truck, the Cyber truck. It's so hideous that it's beautiful, and I want one. I don't even play anymore, and I want one. The escape sack throw early to Juju shows me that, and all the runs where he's running around, deep drops and stuff, he feels healthy running the ball more so than he has in the last year and a half. And you look back to the Super Bowl, and he was banged up in his lower leg, foot, whatever the hell it was. You can't get out there and run if you're in pain. And Patrick looks to be healthy, and that's really, really scary because when the play breaks down, we saw the Xbox 360 movie pulled at the goal line with a flip seemingly like,
It's like a benevolent Brett Favre.
It's like a benevolent Brett Favre. Yeah.
He is.
I mean,
legitimately, some of those throws last night, like they're the throws that you used to watch growing up, and you were like, no, Brett, no, yes. Like, that just, like, throws nobody else is making because they're just so ballsy. They're not even throws. They're like flicks and pitches
they
and
can run the ball.
And
they can protect on normal drops.
Yeah.
They can run the screen effectively.
Yep.
They can get in the wildcat down at the goal line and have 3 ball carriers in the backfield and do a number of things in the red area. And when the play breaks down and there's coverage, Patrick Mahomes can force you to get off your coverage.
No question. I don't think Brady looked really good. Brady still looks really good.
It's sick.
Brady still looks really good. You can't spot a team, 7 in the first minute because the rookie fumbles a kickoff. I mean, it's just not. That's not as many times Brady's come back. We talked about this last night. I just don't think this is the team that Brady's going to be mounting a lot of comebacks with, although, the coverage got a little soft at times last night. So, it was catch a ball from a Hall of Famer night. I mean, so many guys I don't know much about catching footballs in those two teams, but one team's working it out better. I mean, you got to think about this. The Chiefs, I think Mike Sando wrote about this morning. The Chiefs were top 3 in offense with Alex Smith. So, like, they've done this, bro. Like they can do this with whoever they put out there. It's just going to take time. And some weeks are going to look like struggles, but this week did not look like a struggle. And I know it had to feel good for Patrick Mahomes.
Well, it's like the culture that has carried over under Andy Reid coach teams, offensively in particular, just carries over. Like you say, whoever's in there, even if it's Chad Henne in a playoff game, I mean, they're rolling. You know what I mean? They're not changing the playbook. These guys are going to do what they do.
Hey, riddle me this. 28 yards, 58 yards rushing last week against the Colts, but then they ran all over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I thought we couldn't
Colts front
run
might
on
be
this
better.
front.
Colts front might be better.
Defoe, unique.
Yeah, Colts front might be not unique in the run game. No, I mean, I'm not saying that's why, but they just might be deeper, better. How about my guy Grover, what the fuck is his name? Grover, you better learn his name. I better learn his name. Number 90 for the Colts. He's blowing fucking plays up on first and second down. They just don't look. They didn't look that great last night. That's the hardest I've seen Clyde Edwards-Helaire run.
He ran hard last night.
I think
Chris made
a little
good point. Was it
competition
Chris?
too.
That's right.
Yeah.
He said competition.
Yeah. Yep.
He's seeing Pacheco go out there
Yep.
get chunks.
Yeah.
Hey, here's where the Chiefs' offense ranks through 4 games of the post-Tyreek era. EPA per drive first, points per drive first, offensive points per game second, success rate third. Mahomes is first among quarterbacks in EPA per pass play. No Tyreek.
I cannot wait to hear Patrick Mahomes' voice when he's 65 doing NFL film stuff. Because he sounds like just a lifetime smoker. Like
He's amazing.
He does a pack of Virginia Slims a day. I love that voice. I love that he's such a marketable superstar and he's got that voice, dude.
And I think
Just regular guy, scratch golfer, drinks 12 beers a day voice.
I don't get the 12. I don't hear that in his voice.
Oh, I hear that in his voice.
I hear a little Kermit.
You think he sounds more like a frog than a human being?
I think he was
Yeah.
the kid with a scratchy voice.
Thank you.
I got something for you.
Okay,
I got
what
a
is
coach thing for you.
Okay, cool.
Okay, 41-31.
Yeah.
Bucks are down. They get to about midfield. They get to the plus 46 with 12 seconds left. Todd Bowles has taken his headset off. Blaine Gabbert is listening in his helmet. He's doing the move where you hold the face mask so you can hear.
Right.
And he goes to Todd and he goes, you can kick a field goal. It'd be a 64-yarder. You make it. It's a long shot, sure, but you get within 7. Say that takes 5
Shut
seconds.
the fuck up, Blaine.
You can kick an onside kick with 7 seconds.
Yeah.
That takes a second. You could throw a Hail Mary. And Bowles. So Blaine, I assume he goes, you could kick it. You could see Todd Bowles go, kick it. And then they run a play, and it's a decent completion, and the game's over. But that was funny to me. And maybe Coach Bowles should leave the headset on until there's.
That's the way we
zeros on
think
the
at
clock.
home. I love Blaine Gabbert imparting wisdom on Todd Bowles.
Yeah. Future NFL head
Would you
coach.
have kicked it?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, because
Extend the game.
Yeah, you're thinking like a gambler.
That's how Chase Daniel
Coaches don't
was.
think like gamblers.
No, I'm thinking like extend the game.
It should be one and the same, right? We're all trying to extend the game here. If you got Bucks money line or whatever you had,
I had Bucks minus 2.5,
Yeah.
and then when it was awful, I had Chiefs minus 13.5, and so I had to jump on a Tokyo tennis match at 11:30 p.m.
tennis match,
which is a bad scene, but my guy P. Martinez came through for me. So all right, we're back to even.
L'Jarius Sneed.
Oh, strip sack king, dude.
Okay,
How
so
about
he's
2 weeks in a row?
He's
How
a
about 2 weeks
weekly
in a row?
STL Memorial
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
I mean, being a corner that's an
Yeah.
adder in the run game and,
Yep.
and the pass game.
Yep.
L'Jarius is so much longer and faster than people give him credit for, or what he shows on TV. That guy is built like a
his number.
100-meter track star.
It's his number, Kyle.
Yeah, and he can run. He loves to hit. He's quiet as shit. Great dude. Great teammate.
Hey, that Juan Thornhill personal
Clean.
foul,
That
not a
was very
personal
clean.
Clean. Juan. Good hit. Juan.
Great hit. Great
Shout out
hit.
Wahoo Wah, Wahoo Wah, UVA, Virginia, hoo hooray, hoo hooray, hey, UVA.
Good for you,
He does that
Kyle.
better than me.
Yeah, dog.
We haven't heard that in a while.
Okay, there it is. Okay.
What's going on?
I don't want to hear it. I
That
don't
was
want to
me
hear
as a
it.
kid, rosy cheeked.
You can take the
for
year
number
off,
91.
band.
That's my brother.
Oh man. And then I'd walk down to the player hangout place and the kid you're imitating is taller than the football player in college. Legitimately looking up at him. He's in high school. All right, Buffalo, Baltimore.
Oh.
Let's bro. All right, so I just want to talk about this first. The stop at the end of the game. The biggest play of the game is second
Dude.
down
Yes.
on the goal line.
Yes.
It's 93 swimming the tackle and blowing up Pat Ricard, deleting Pat Ricard and the puller who's supposed to go front side and get Matt Milano, who blows up the play in the backfield. If they don't make that play, Baltimore's ahead of the chains. But the whole thing, even first down, right? We know the situation, right? The game's tied at this point, and it comes down to kicking the field goal or scoring a touchdown. Harbaugh makes the decision to try to score the touchdown. On first down, just to knock the play down on the one. On defense, we'd always say, just knock it down. Just knock it down, because you never know, unless you want the other team to score for some reason. But you never know when you're gonna be able to string out 3 good defensive plays and get off the field. It doesn't matter if it's on the inch line. So second down, huge TFL. I should learn that kid's name. He's a reserve, number 93, but he made the play of the game. And then third down, the kid who's in for Hyde makes a stop on the 2-yard line, sets up fourth down. And I have no problem with John Harbaugh going for the win.
I love it.
I have no problem. And a lot of people are, they get mad, and I might be twisting myself up in knots talking about this, but Macon, bear with me. If you're upset that you're giving Josh 4 downs, that's kind of the situation anyways. Like, they scored, right? They would have scored a touchdown if they wanted to. So this to me, if you watch the Bills' last drive and you watch,
it was like 3 minutes left and you watch fourth down.
The Ravens play this year. Do you really want to leave that to chance? You try to take the points, and it just happened last week in the Bills and Dolphins game. The Bills slowed down, right? Because they didn't want to give the Dolphins too much time, but you ended up with the butt punt. And the only problem I have with Harbaugh and that fourth down is, and we kind of alluded to it, was put the ball in Lamar's hands in a run pass option situation. And if you don't convert, have them on the 1-yard line.
Exactly.
Because then I feel really good about your defense, even though they've been Swiss cheese on the back end. And so Lamar, people want to talk about Lamar didn't have a great game, or people didn't say that. I'm not going to join the straw man army on Lamar Jackson. No, like how everybody is like, oh, they're writing Lamar off. No, like 7 people on the internet are. Everybody knows Lamar's really good. The discussion about Lamar is he really, really, really good, or is he a team that is he a guy who can catapult them to a Super Bowl? That pick at the end of the game doesn't change anything I think about Lamar Jackson. He has to throw that ball.
Has to throw it.
Once you call the play, it's probably going to go in the air, and he had no other option.
It looked exactly like Pat Mahomes rolling away from a ton of pressure at the end of a game in the Super Bowl.
But it's just the throw you got to make.
You got to make.
And Poyer makes an incredible fucking play, dude. He is on the N. He's turned around, facing the other direction. He's on the N in Ravens.
Facing the E.
Yeah, facing the E.
Makes his way to the toe of the S.
Makes his way past the S.
Yeah.
And makes an incredible play. I mean, really, I know people are looking at throw, but that was a great fucking play. So that goal line stand to me was huge, and it kind of encapsulates the Bills, man. They got a tip ball from a rookie I've never heard of to set up a pick earlier in the game. Young guys making plays on the goal line. McDermott has them playing really well. They've always played solid in the red zone. That was a huge stop, man.
I'm so glad you mentioned the second down in particular, because I came in this morning and I was really fucking pissed about it, because I'm watching the end of the game again. And first off, I'm really happy Jim Harbaugh elected to go for it. You want nothing more than a coach who has confidence in your MVP.
Oh, everybody would have jacked
Brother
him off.
John.
It would have been.
John, he's like, those are my boys out there, right? John Harbaugh. Those are all my kids out there.
They'd have been playing the B-roll at the ESPYs.
And I agree, bro. But second down, you got to give the ball to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
You cannot take the football out of the best player's hands in that part of the field, in that situation in the game. If you're trying to put the nail in the coffin, you're going to give it to your best player. The Chiefs are going to throw it to Travis Kelce. You know what I mean? Like, every team has a guy, and everybody in the stadium knows he's going to get it. They didn't allow for Lamar Jackson to do it. Third down, desperation. Fourth down, pick.
Yeah.
Score on second down with your guy.
Yeah.
Getting a huge, heavy goal line formation and let him race the contained player to the pylon, and I promise you I'm taking Lamar Jackson 7 days a week.
Yeah, I mean, or Josh Allen for that matter. That whole comeback, he was running away from guys, bro. He was pumping guys off
Cannot
their feet.
Be contained.
He cannot be contained. I mean, Owe is an incredible athlete, and I think about it as a rusher.
Pumping guys
when
off.
I used to try to chase somebody who was real athletic, bigger, faster. It was hard, and I used to think things like, hey, if I had the athleticism of an Owe, how many plays would I be able to finish? Well, he couldn't finish plays yesterday on Josh Allen, bro. I mean, he ended up with a sack, but he chased him left and right all day, spun out the backside of contain, raced Patrick Queen to the fucking sideline on a fourth down, pumped Humphrey off his feet. I mean, he terrorized them with his legs, especially in the second half. And I will say this about the Bills and Josh Allen, who did not look sharp early, right?
Turnover city.
You had the pick early, but then that was a Knox drop. But really, the second drive, he almost threw a few picks. He looked like he was off. Like, when a quarterback's, like, inexplicably, maybe it's the rain. I was just walking with AJ Feely yesterday, who was at our Legends tailgate, and he was like, bro, I just couldn't. Before a day like today, I couldn't sleep. Like, they'd just be sitting in the hotel room sleepless. They have to be all, like, ambient up because they're just worried about the moisture. And maybe that's what it was. because he was kind of zipping some balls in there when he should have had touch on them. It didn't look like Josh. But what they didn't do is they didn't panic, and they did not abandon the run game. They threw the ball a lot in the second quarter because of time possession and because they had to go. But the rest of the game, they did not abandon that run game, and it paid off for them. So really, really good job by the Bills. The middle 8, they won that. They scored before the half, and they got to stop immediately. So they never abandoned the run game. That roughing call with 2:03 left.
Rough.
I'm with Ravens fans there.
Yep.
It looked bad. He made an attempt to not go, forcible contact to the head and neck area. He also did a good job while taking him to the ground to not be too damaging. A couple times where I thought Lamar Jackson was going to take some big damage. 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Lamar Houdini's his way out, and we all saw the highlights. But one that I don't think has been highlighted enough was during the 2-minute drive, down 20-3. They drive 2 minutes down to score, but the Mahomes-esque scramble by Josh Allen. People think that Mahomes is the only guy who can do it. I've seen it now a couple times. Josh Allen can do it too. He gets out of there. He pump fakes guys in the air. He knows how to play point guard out there and influence bodies. And there's maybe 3 guys in the league who can do it like them.
Yeah, he's remarkable and keeps you in every game. Lamar, people are going to parse every win-loss with him. People are going to say he wants that throw back in the corner of the end zone. We've talked about that. That's bullshit. He has to throw that ball. The one throw he wants back is I think it's 14-3, and they're driving. And he kind of hits the mascot a little bit on Mark Andrews on a go route. I think it was in the corner of the end zone. That would have been 20.
Fill-in.
Yeah, that would have been 21-3. And I don't know if the Bills get back in the game if he hits that ball. I mean, he's open, and Lamar would tell you. Lamar will be the first to tell you he wants that ball back, right? That's the one. The other throws, the tips, whatever. It was raining. Lamar always plays pretty well in the rain. When you look back, I feel like he's played in some rainy games, New England, San Francisco, a couple over his career where he was pretty sharp. Now, I don't know. Maybe he threw a couple picks in those games, but there's no reason to think he's worse off in the rain. He threw some nice balls yesterday. And Queen had a rough day. OA felt like he was chasing Lamar all over the place. Good to have Poyer back, though. 2 picks. The Bills look like the Bills in the second half of the game yesterday.
He is all over the field.
Okay. New England, Green Bay. That was entertaining. And I got to say, these are the games where I almost wish Bill Belichick had less. It's I want to see him do more with less so badly. It's so fun. I bet. So I did bet the Patriots. A bunch of people asked if I was high.
I was
actually
about to.
No. Yeah, you
No?
were. No. I bet that. Well, when I bet it, it was Wednesday night at 2 a.m.
All right.
But I couldn't wait. There's so many points. There's 11 points. This is a tailor-made. Yeah, you were saying that the Dallas line was stinky. Even with all these points, it felt stinky. Everybody was on the pack, right? It's Brian Hoyer. Little did they know, Hoyer wouldn't even have to finish the game for the Patriots. So I just thought this was a tailor-made. This is the kind of game Bill gets off on, dude. I got nobody, and I'm just gonna go out there
When the chips are down.
and I'm gonna go blow for blow with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. We're gonna run the fuck out of the ball. They ran the ball obnoxiously, dude.
It's incredible.
They run the ball obnoxious. I love it, dude. They should do a thing with Bill where if he runs the ball a certain amount of times, everybody gets some shit from Dunkin' Donuts. It's a tailor-made deal. If you get 40 carries in a game.
It's World War I style football out there. They're just
it's trench warfare.
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
People are getting stabbed with rifles, dude.
Yeah. Bayonets.
Yeah, I know. It's been long enough. That's not too soon.
Yeah.
Right? It's been long enough we can joke about people getting stabbed with bayonets.
It happens.
No, not anymore. It doesn't. But in Green Bay last night, it
happened.
Bro, because they went big personnel 15, 20 times. I was seeing offensive linemen out there. It was Marcus Cannon was out there.
Reporting.
Yeah, dude, that was all day. So just came out and set the tone early. I know it sounds like the Pats won as we talk about this game. They ended up losing, but it was just really fucking fun to watch. The one I want to ask you guys about was the punt in overtime. Coach Macon, 4th and 5.
All right. So I just needed a win. So I went Packers money line. Packers money line before the game starts. And then we go over to my brother-in-law's house. We have some barbecue, watching Red Zone. It's a lovely affair. Kids running around, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One of those moments where you take stock of your life and you're just so grateful for what you have, all right?
You were down.
Well, then my frickin' daughter has the gall at that 3rd and 7 or so before somebody calls a timeout in overtime to start pitching a fit and announce that it's time to go. So I am now afraid of Bailey Zappe on the plus side of the field in overtime. A considerable amount of money on the Green Bay money line. And I'm hovering over the cash out button on the WinBet app, and she's saying we got to get out the door. So I cash out and get in the car before this 4th down punt, only to be texted moments later, you should have let it ride.
You should have let it ride because Bill was not. I mean, like, and I know this isn't in his DNA. First off, Matt Judon, who played a really nice game, got him off the field on 3rd down with the pressure, out of field goal range on a sack. He really rushed well. But more than anything, he set them up to win this game in overtime. Like his pressure gave them the ball in the 50-yard line. Everything went to plan. They kicked to Aaron Rodgers. They go 3 and out. They heat him up. They go 3 and out.
To answer your question, play to win the game.
Play to win the game. You have you've played such an unlikely ball game with these guys. Nobody would have thought, except me, that you'd be in overtime because I did sprinkle a little on the money line. I lost that bet. So in the spirit of transparency. So
3rd and 5. It was 3rd and 5. And the punt was 4th and 5 from the 46.
Here's my problem with the 3rd and 5. Again, 2nd down. 1st down, you run into a heavy box. Okay, like if you didn't like the look, you didn't like the look. I mean, you don't want to take a shot. You don't want to take a shot. You want to stay at it. But the 2nd down play, they run basically like off tackle, and they're lucky to get a yard, right? So it's 3rd and 5, and Bailey Zappe can't see because he's 5'10", and his drop target is like 14 yards on play action pass. Did you notice that? Rashawn Gary had a sack. But Rashawn Gary is a fucking beast, dude. He's a fucking beast. We can get to that in a second. But he's dropped to like 10.5 yards on Gary's sack. He's like 12 on play action. He's just standing back there. He's not climbing the pocket, nothing.
Which is a dream for you.
Well, and also makes me think he can't see.
Yeah.
But 3rd and 5, he's 5'10". But he does have big hands. We looked into that last night. Hand size is pretty big. So you get to 4th and 5 here. Dude, Aaron Rodgers took 4 plays to get right where you are. 4 plays, bro. I hate this. When you punt the ball to an Aaron Rodgers, he's just it's Cobb, it's Cobb Dobbs, and it's Goodnight Bob. Goodnight Bob Kraft. Because that's a good one. So it's Cobb, it's Dobbs, you're at midfield, and it's basically over. Everybody knows, like it's 2-3 chunk plays. So try to win the fucking game. And I don't know. That wouldn't have been what I would have done. I would have gone for it. Kyle,
you have to go for it. I mean, you're in a situation where nobody expects you to be, and to your point, fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it, but fuck it indeed, Kyle.
Let's go win.
And then cowardly punt index had him like real high, which
higher
I know
than
Bill
Lovie
doesn't
Smith?
like because I know Bill reads cowardly punt index every night.
Then what's your play call at 4th and 5?
Well, my play call on 3rd and 5 is, or 3rd and 6 is a lot different. So
Okay,
first
so it's
off,
only 4th and 5. I can only
play call. Who do I trust the most?
Little mesh
Something
route.
to Kendrick Bourne, dude.
little mesh route.
Something
Okay.
to Kendrick Bourne.
You have to give somebody an opportunity to win on the outside, and you have to give multiple guys opportunities to win on the inside, whatever that is.
I'm not an offensive mastermind
Slants,
like Matt
all
Patricia
slants.
and Joe Judge.
Angle route.
But
Angle route.
I'm probably Stevenson on an angle route.
Jet pivot is what I would do. I would
Jet
go.
pivot.
I would get guys stopping at intermediate areas. I would get one guy crossing. It lets you open the windows up. It's 4th down, man. You got to do anything you can.
I also think like people thought a little bit when Zappe came in the game, oh, they're opening things up because he hit like 2 open throws for chunks. No, if you really charted them, they were going to come out running the football, whether it was Hoyer or Zappe. And I think, honestly, I would have trusted Hoyer even more to win that football game because 4th and 5, I'm giving the ball. I'm putting it in Hoyer's hands. By the way, I call him Bailey Sappy because his release is like fucking sap coming down a tree, bro. That thing is just like, it's juicy for a rusher. Like if I'm playing Bailey Sappy, I'm going to get 3, dude. I'm going to get 3
You're not
sacks.
tackling, you're chopping.
I'm chopping,
Yeah.
bro. I remember John Abraham used to say, he'd be like, I don't even try to tackle the fucking quarterback.
That's what BG
He's like,
does.
why
is
do
a
you try to
chopper.
tackle the quarterback? So that would have been me on Bailey Zappi, who, by the way, like the ball also is kind of like tree sap getting out there a little bit. If we're being honest, I know when I talk about quarterbacks' arm strengths, people get sensitive, but
Is this the new Tuanon?
what more do you need to see from Bailey Zappi? These are deep balls. Okay, so Aaron Rodgers, man, he would look really human at times, and people are like, I've never seen Aaron Rodgers play so bad. I'm like, if you go back and look at these throws, the Jack Jones pick was a terrible throw, right? Like reminiscent of the Bucs pick 6 me and Reed were talking about, right? This one might have been worse, but Jack Jones made a great play. Aaron Rodgers still made Aaron Rodgers throws, dude. The ball still looks different coming off that cat's hands.
The big Romeo drop, which I would
Romeo
like for
drop.
you to address, was an insane throw.
He's never going to play 2 shitty halves.
Do you
right?
want me to address being right about a kid getting open as fuck and being a big part of the Packers offense? What is this, a victory lap for you?
Lazard, 6 for 116. He's a house.
He's a beast.
Bro, I didn't set my lineup. Nobody cares, okay? We're talking about the Packers and the Patriots. You lost more money yesterday on that game, probably. Well, actually, you ended up recouping.
Got it back with the Tokyo.
Tokyo.
The Tokyo
Then you
tennis.
probably would win on the fucking the fantasy league.
I thought about that. Yes.
You care
I
so
lost.
much about fantasy, and you're going to collect like $200.
Yeah, it's pride. It's not about the money.
Well, obviously not for me. So congratulations to the
Thanks.
houses.
Thanks.
But here's the deal. Romeo Dobbs, he's in the Dobbs house. You know what the Dobbs house is better
that?
than the dog house. Because when you're in the Dobbs house, they still got to throw you the ball. This kid, it's tantalizing. He's so fucking, you get the fumble early in the game. And that's the second big mistake by a rookie early in a game that kind of didn't cost them this ball game, but it could have cost them this ball game. You want to get points early. You want to get in a rhythm. Dobbs fumble. You had the Watson drop against Minnesota, but like he also gives you the back shoulder. He also gets open.
He's really good.
He's fucking really good, dude.
He's really good.
He's really good. And he dropped that ball, and it was a drop. It wasn't a catch, but he's in the Dobbs house, which is like club fed. He's still going to get the ball.
Aaron's going to try to bump him up, boost him up. He's going to gas him up.
Bro, he's not. He's going to just, he was on the, He asked if he could drive Dobbs home last night. Said nothing to him. Just put him in the car. Said nothing to him. Turn on InfoWars, like 41 volume.
Rogan.
Just Rogan talking to a guy about mushrooms and aliens.
Yeah,
Dobbs is
man.
like, what are we doing? He's just driving around in a circle around Green Bay. Fucking
His little hairs. His little 2 strands of hairs.
no, dude. Not with the
Flying
hair.
out the back of
Not with the
back
Peaky
of the-
Blinders. But Aaron Rodgers is an absolute dog on the football field, bro. If that's his worst game, still some of those throws. And you said it, Alan Lazard. In my notes, I have throw the fucking ball to Alan Lazard on first down. Early downs, if you want to get your willies out and throw the ball, throw it to a guy you trust. I know we're trying to get all these rookies involved. Christian Watson's getting end arounds and shit, and they are trying to get him involved in the run game. But go to the guys you trust, especially Alan Lazard on first down. That ball he threw to him on the right sideline, Jonathan Jones in coverage couldn't be better. Ball couldn't be better. They really have a good – we need to stop talking about Alan Lazard like he's just a guy. Okay, like he's more than a guy because he plays with Aaron Rodgers
He's
and
a
they got a good
mismatch,
rapport.
too, physically.
So throw him the ball. Trust him on early downs. Listen, Kyle, you're the car head. You're the gear head. Do you have to break in sports cars? Like I can't drive a sports car off the lot and go 200 miles an hour.
Depends on how much you care about the longevity of your sports car.
Okay, so fucking break in the Ferrari here, right?
Yeah.
Go 35 with the Ferrari a little bit. I know that's what it feels like, but run the football. Their best drive,
Test your limits.
it felt like the Watson end around for a touchdown. Just lean into this thing you got, man. You got good backs. You got a good offensive line. You got guys coming back. Run the fucking football. Aaron doesn't have to go 200 miles an hour, man.
Even if you're not running the football, an extension of that run game is a lot of what we saw with Devontae, and I haven't really seen them run these types of plays with the same confidence. Is the quick dump off with one-on-one block and a receiver outside, and it's like an Oklahoma drill that they create between the numbers and the sideline. You've seen it, and the good teams are really good at it, and I think I would like to see Allen Lazard more on first down, to your point, involved in some of those stack bunch
I want to
formations.
see Dobbs involved there. I want to see Dobbs.
And you can have multiple guys out there, and one guy goes blocks, one guy gets the ball. The other guy goes blocks, the other guy gets the ball.
You know what else I want to see, Colin? I'm not going to let it go. Mike Gesicki in a Packers uniform. That's what I want to see.
Oh, Big Bob.
Tell me, Big Bob.
Big Bob, 2 for 22.
You said this 3 times.
Big Bob Tunyon.
No,
both
you said
of
this
them.
3 times.
There's
And what did I
enough
say
for
to you
both
the
of
other
them?
2 times? What did I say the other 2 times?
Mike Gesicki.
Mike Gesicki's not a fucking tight end, dude.
Right.
You don't have
He's
to
a
line
hybrid.
him up like a tight end. Split him out, put him in the slot. Like get chef it up, man. But you want to give him some trusted targets that he can go to in crunch time. He's got them, but maybe one more. Christian Watson and him don't seem to have a great rapport through the air.
Maybe someone a bit more dynamic than Randall Cobb at this stage in his career.
Maybe so. And
But nobody is as clutch or dependable as Randall Cobb.
And by the way, you mentioned Big Bob. Mm-hmm. I want like an Aaron Rodgers eyes vision on every throw he makes. Like seeing him look off safeties and shit, and just his dead eyes.
Game
like,
within
the way
the
they
game.
look.
When Madden tried to make us like look off people and your QB vision.
Yeah. I
like
want to see his QB. I want to see Aaron Rodgers' eyes on every play. They have cameras everywhere. Give me a fucking camera on Aaron Rodgers' eyes every play. Give Tony Romo a fucking camera on Cole Strange every play. Romo loves Strange. Did you know that? He circled him 7 times yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, he played pretty well. So that's one for Bill that he needs, man. He needs that draft pick to hit, and it looks like it's hitting early. I mean, this dude was pulling around, knocking people off. Kyle, you like what you see from this kid?
If Tony Romo likes him, I love him because nobody knows ball better than a quarterback, and nobody knows quarterbacking better than Tony Romo.
But Romo doesn't know line play that well.
Well, here's the deal. The quarterbacks run the offensive line.
Yeah.
The quarterbacks tell us where to go before the play.
But
If I'm on the offensive line,
Tony Romo talk up.
but if I'm on the offensive line and I don't know where I'm fucking going, I'm not going to look at the center. I'm going to turn around and say, what is he going to say? Because as he goes, we need to go.
The guy's got to go that way. And
I really like the ball not getting off. Aaron Rodgers cussing him out. And then he's like, hey, you need to get that ball out.
How about Zappe and that sappy-ass play clock?
Right.
It was down at 0 for like a whole fucking second, dude. They're just trolling Rodgers.
It's commonplace now, though, right?
It is commonplace.
They give you a beat. It's like 1,
but that was
0.
long.
3 beats.
That was a long
Is it 3 beats?
3 beats.
Yeah, it was long.
Give me your beat.
Hit 0, beat.
Whoa.
Zappe
Snap.
snaps the ball.
I cut it off
Snap
after
the fucking ball.
I cut it off after 2 beats.
As you should.
Who was he mad at?
Really should be
Kyle,
one beat.
you're the offensive guy. Who was he mad at?
The center's got to be aware of the fact that when the ball's down to 0, the ball's got to get snapped, and everybody else in anticipation.
I get it, but like his hand wasn't under his ass cheeks until 0.
It's Aaron Rodgers. He's allowed to be mad.
That's
at
all you
everybody.
had to say.
He's allowed to be mad at anybody but himself. He's earned
that's
that
all you
right.
had to say. Yeah. I'm just wondering. It's not a rhetorical question. I don't know. I was kind of confused. Okay.
It's like when I forget my notes and I'm like, why didn't you get my fucking notes?
You do that
It's
at work?
my fault.
You do that at work?
I'm hypothetic.
Okay.
Hypothesizing.
See long.
Yeah.
All of the 4th+ round receivers in NFL history to record as many receptions, yards, and touchdowns as Romeo Doubs through 3 games. Marcus Colston and Pro Football Hall of Famer Steve Largent.
Bro, it's going to be a good fucking time with Romeo Doubs. Just stick with it, guys.
Shout out Justice Mosqueda on the Twitter.
Nice, Justice. Very nice. Spread the gospel of Dobbs. Okay, so you saw Pickett play. Somebody saw Pickett play?
Yeah, I saw the highlights of Pickett, but I didn't get to watch it in real time.
Yeah.
Frustrated for Mitch, but the offense needs a spark. Mike Tomlin does not want to have a losing record, obviously, and he knows that he's probably not going to get it with Trubisky at the helm right now.
Got to keep that Cal Ripken streak alive.
It's what it's all about.
No incompletions for
records.
Kenny Pickett.
Except for
10 to his team, 3 to the other team. That was his 13 pass attempts.
Yeah.
he puts the ball in people's hands.
Listen,
He provides a spark.
the first throw wasn't the worst throw in the world. I know, like Claypool
He's gotta come down with it.
go up and just play defense or
Be a
catch the
DB.
ball. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to make too much of a big deal of this. There's no going back, though. We were talking about this last night. You can't go back now.
And because we've been through this before. I've seen it before when a quarterback is benched for somebody the coach thinks is going to give us a better chance. And then it's like, maybe that was the... No. You made your bed, now sleep in it.
Well, how'd the thing go in Miami when B-Flow, who B-Flow's up there, he might say, hey, Mike, like I did that thing with Fitzy and Tua. And yeah, it's sometimes you're like, yeah, well, but there's no Ryan Fitzpatrick.
He's an anomaly, right?
There's no Ryan Fitzpatrick
Mitch
there.
Trubisky, it doesn't work.
What the fuck was that?
Trubisky. There's no Fitz magic.
No, yeah, you're right.
Bisque magic. You're welcome.
So we really don't need to say much about that game, but it's a big win for the Jets, man. It's big. You get your quarterback back and you win, and you got a short flight. Maybe they got the best plane ride. We'll see.
Ooh,
We'll see.
Stick around.
We'll see.
Stick around.
We'll see.
We'll see. But Kenny Pickett, man, like I do think they're probably
Better.
I think they're probably better with.
They're better with Kenny Pickett, and yeah, it's unfortunate to see.
I didn't
I'm a
believe
huge
it.
Mitch guy.
I didn't believe it because I thought Mitch would be better.
I saw too many drops from the Steelers last week. I saw a lot of great throws. I was tweeting about it all
Second
week.
half of that game last week.
I saw a quarterback putting you in position, but for whatever reason, the receivers and the quarterback aren't meshing, and you got to bring a new guy in. And maybe they have some sort of chemistry in the building that we don't know about, Pickett and these receivers.
Yeah.
And you know how it goes.
He
Sometimes
might be young. He might know trap music.
Sometimes they Pickett
he
favorites.
Might be cooler than Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah. Well, Mitch is a new dad. He's got a lot going on, man.
Pick magic. 3 picks.
Pick magic.
Kenny throws picks.
We got there.
Picks
Kenny
it.
Kenny pick.
Picks it.
We got there.
Kenny pick 6.
Okay. The best of the rest, man. Okay, Tennessee, Indy. Indy might be cooked.
Get him out of here.
Indy might be cooked. People predictably overreacted. I mean, you gave out Indy. I bet Indy. Indy was Tennessee. Sorry, I mean, yeah. We keep mixing the two teams up because they're so
That's
fucking
fair.
similar.
Yep.
We both were on Indy, and I just feel like
Tennessee.
we both were on Tennessee, and I just feel like. Although they're very different, the two teams, Vrabel and Reich, very different guys. The personalities of those teams, but 2 big backs, good defensive lines,
2 white quarterbacks. Look like
both in the same division. Tennessee's won 4 straight now, but against the Colts. But the whole thing is, Indy, man, they're gonna if this is the last year that Matt Ryan's under center for them. It's not like he's been terrible. He's just not the old Matty Ice. What do they do now? Like, what do they continue to do? Ballard and Reich, I really like these guys, but what are they going to do next? Because they're going to play themselves in the middle of this draft. I guess there's going to be some good quarterbacks, but you have to hit on this next quarterback. Bro, like, look at the last 4 or 5 years, how many guys they've had under center. After all that time of when you go from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck, and you're just like, oh, we're always going to have a good quarterback. And now it's just been this cycle of new faces and new names. So I don't know. They were down 24-3.
Pick number 10.
Pick number 10.
After
so they need to keep losing. But I fear that they get decent enough to be 7 and 11.
18 games.
Whatever it is.
Making the playoffs.
Yeah, 7-11. Well, they're going to make the playoffs and then lose. Yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
You're going to lose in the wild card round. So Indy might be cooked. They're down 24-3 before you could blink, and somehow miraculously the under hit. 43.
They're not a team that's built to play from behind. They never were, and they have Matt Ryan to keep them competitive in the passing game, but they're a team that's relied so heavily on the run game that when you're down 24-3, you say, fuck, this isn't our identity. Shaq Leonard's in the game, but now he's out with a concussion. Like, Shaq, our best guy's on the field. Now he's off the field.
I got to have a talk with
we have no
Jonathan
faith.
Taylor, fantasy Jonathan Taylor.
Sphincter of the week. Miller Lite mentioned Jonathan Taylor, fantasy managers.
Oof. But if they care,
if they care.
This year I'm probably not going to win it. I don't care.
You got a solid team. You just need to set the roster.
We don't care.
Set the lineup.
We don't.
And then Denver, Vegas, Reed. Real bummer for you that your team might suck.
Yeah, it was a tough realization.
What week did you have this realization?
Was it a couple weeks ago?
Well, it was nice to see us score some points this week. Like, we finally got the offense rolling. Unfortunately, the defense, which had been firing on all cylinders the past couple weeks, could not stop Derek Carr and company, which the rest of the teams in the NFL seem to have done very well in the Raiders' 3 previous games. So
And Thursday coming up against the Colts.
I don't even know. As you can tell, I don't look ahead.
Broncos home
That's
for the
gonna
Colts.
be a tough.
That's gonna be so fun.
Tough game for Time Machine. Which, by the way, we were texting during Thursday Night Time Machine.
Probably
I
should have
just
posted
can't.
that text exchange. That was fun. That was fun in
for
an
you.
awful way. I wasn't having fun. I wasn't having fun. I wasn't having any fun.
Yeah.
Who do you think?
I'm on the right side of all these fucking games on Thursday. It's
I
just
told you I
something
was
in the-
sorry. I was sorry.
Yeah.
I was sorry. Don't
do you
even
think-
remember the freaking game.
Who do you
at
think's
this point.
favored in that Colts at Broncos?
Broncos.
Hold on.
Well,
One second.
yeah, everybody hold on.
Colts,
Everybody
Broncos.
hold on.
Did you-
Everybody
Broncos.
just
Did you say it
hold
already?
on.
I haven't said it.
Broncos
you
4
for that.
points.
Oh, I think the Colts are 1.5 point favorites.
Okay, hold on.
2.5 Broncos favorites.
Okay, hold on. Both 2-2, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Denver
They sure don't feel like it.
Denver's at home. No Javante. Indy scuffling. It's going to be the Broncos will be favored by 1.5.
Kyle's closest. Broncos by 3.
That new Danger Witch.
So yeah, sorry about that, Reed, man. But
big.
Max Crosby had a great game. Unfortunately, though, now
That's
nobody's talking
elevation
about the
getting the
fucking
point.
Raiders, so people are going to be looking up in November like, "What's Max Crosby done this year?"
Balled
Hasn't been
out.
on TV. I mean, he played well yesterday. So and Surtain and Adams, I can't wait to watch that. Reed.
Surtain is so big.
Guys,
I didn't realize how big he
Surtain.
is.
I could let it go
Surtain.
once.
Surtain.
Thank you.
Surtain.
Yeah.
Surtain.
Surtain.
Surtain
This guy's good.
is very big.
Be like if you guys went like, hey, we're Lange now.
Yeah,
The Lange family.
I think we're oversimplify it. The Gunters.
Yeah,
Yeah, which that's initially
day.
how it was pronounced.
probably.
Yeah. Hey, Detroit, Seattle. We were sitting here last night. There's 48,
45,
48,
Scorigami.
45. Yeah, Scorigami. For good reason, dude. Like, this is a Big 12 game. This
Yep.
is, you talk about the Big 12, this is a Big 12 game. And I'm not going to dive into this game. Geno Smith. Would you rather have Geno Smith or Russell Wilson right now?
Geno Smith.
Boy,
100% Geno Smith right now.
Russell Wilson.
Keeping contracts in mind, Geno Smith.
Well, sure, Geno Smith.
He's got a point.
And he's just playing explosively. And he's providing a spark to an offense.
It's incredible. Like, Russ, how about Russ? All right, I'll give a viewing party early for Miller Lite Mentions. How about Russ getting on the bus and looking at the day, or was it in the locker room getting his ankle taped because that was the 1 p.m. Detroit and Seattle was in. But, like, you definitely pay attention. I know he's got Tony Robbins in his ear. I know he's got Jordan Peterson in his ear. I know he's in there spinning around and visualizing and shit, but he's definitely checking the score of that Seattle game.
Absolutely.
48 points, dude.
And
Here's the problem for the Lions, man. And I feel because hey, we love Dan and everything, and they've been competitive, but it's time for them to start cashing in with some wins. Like, it feels like the clock's striking midnight a little bit. I'm not saying that he's in trouble. What I am saying though is that people are going to start saying, "Okay, Dan, we got to finish these games," and he knows that. He'd be the first to tell you after we tell you. This is good.
one thing.
So last night we're looking at this team. They're explosive as fuck offensively. Now, 2 of their games, they've been major, like, comeback games, right? But we didn't take that into account for the Dolphins and Tua beating the Ravens, right? This makes them the greatest show on turf. But we'll apply the same logic to Detroit. They're just not winning these games because their defense is so ass, dude. Their defense is playing terrible, right? They're not historically. They're bottom of the league defensively, and they're top of the league offensively. And I was thinking last night, legit, when's the last time we had a team like this? And if you'll remember the Steve Spagnuolo-led Saints in 2012, the first team came to mind. You look them up. They were top 3 offensively and bottom 3. They were actually, I think, dead last in defense. And that team, 7-9. And when you look at a lot of these teams that are kind of top 5, bottom 5, they end up 7-9. They end up, whatever it is. And that's what you're looking at with this team. An 8-9 team
that are all going to have 6 one possession losses, right?
Yeah, and at the end of the season, I've been on these teams with. I'm not making a joke, but I was on this team with Fish. We were 7-9 a couple years. Like, That was the height of my St. Louis experience, was, just under 500. And for a team that's been like Detroit, there's so many moments where you're like, we could be good. It's so fucking tantalizing. It's so frustrating. There's so many losses during the season that you go in a locker room and it's dead quiet. Somebody's slamming something. It's quiet for a minute. You hear somebody just scream in agony because you're so good. You're so close. But you don't know how to win football games. And you're not playing defense. And that exacerbates the kind of social scene in a locker room. Is like, the defense can't get a fucking stop, and we're scoring 45 points with Jared Goff out here, dude. So it's tough. It's tough for the Lions. And if you'd have told me, I just likened them to the Saints, which is funny as hell because they were a Drew Brees-led team, and you expected them to be good, that was a disappointing season for the Saints, for that program. They're a 13-win, 12-win, 10-win team, even though they snuck in some sneaky 7-9 years. The Lions are perpetually 3-13. So if you'd have told me the Lions are going to win 7 or 8 games this year, everybody would have said,
Great.
"Oh, they're better." But what they've done is they showed us too much. They've showed us that they can be good, and that's the difference. Is like, when you show us that you can beat good teams, we expect it, and so that's the zone they're in, and that's worse than being a bad team. Because now they're a team that's good enough to win, and they have to learn to win.
They're not good enough to overlook the little things, and the little things pile up. And we've talked about it numerous times on the last few Mondays about various games. But I remember being on a team early in my career. You get in the huddle, it's Jay Cutler, Matt Forte, Brandon Marshall, Martellus Bennett,
right,
Alshon Jeffrey, and a host of offensive linemen that have pelts on the wall in the league.
Yep.
And me, rookie, but I felt like I could hold my own. I knew we were set in that huddle offensively. The question marks were in large part on defense, and aging defense, a Lovie Smith defense that was inherited by Mark Trestman and a host of new coaches there for the first time in a long time. You get an offense that's capable, you get a defense that's bad. Then 3-4 years later, Vic Fangio comes in with John Fox, and it's a defensive blueprint for a football team, and we have a dominant defense that we built. And then we're able to back it up on offense.
It flips. Like, I was going to ask you about a year where your defense was really good and you were good, but I'm not going to say
there were mismatches offensively.
But your offense was just kind of like vanilla to me, and we played you in the playoffs.
And it's frustrating.
And it's frustrating. And I've been on teams where, Seattle comes in Monday night. We sack fucking Russell Wilson 11 times, and Marshawn rushes for 24 yards, and we lose. We lose to the Seahawks. And you go in that locker room, and you're just like, what the fuck is happening right now? And all the defensive coaches have to act mad. They still have to act upset. But
they did great.
But you know what? Here's what should happen in those offensive rooms in Detroit this morning. Guys, keep doing what the fuck you're doing. And find the plays that we can take advantage of. The difference between scoring, if it's going to take us 55 points to win, let's go get 55. Let's find the 8 points.
Yeah.
And try not to focus on what's going on the other side of the wall, but it's hard.
Momentum. You said early in the season, I think confidence is just momentum.
Momentum's just
momentum
confidence.
Is just confidence.
Yeah, people use the momentum word. That's all it is.
Do not take out of consideration the fact the Lions have tremendous momentum offensively and they're doing things the right way.
Yeah. No, it feels like a loss, though. It feels like a big loss, though, because they're good, right?
They did it without Swift, St. Brown, Shark.
How, dude?
Awesome.
Culture.
This young fucking OC is legit. He's legit. I better learn his name.
Yeah, we should look that up.
I knew it last week.
Ben Johnson.
It's a nice, simple name.
Which translates to has existed as a penis.
Yeah, you got it.
Good. It's good, PFT.
Good. Yeah, loosely. Okay, I was going to ask you this, Reed, as we wrap this up, because I don't care about Arizona, Carolina. If you're a Cardinals fan or a Panthers fan, we'll see you next week. But LA,
bring your A game.
Houston, yeah, be better. LA and Houston.
Damn it, Houston.
I know. Golly.
Damn it.
Damn it in a lot of ways. Because as you know, I have the over win total on Houston, which is 4.5. And I have the under on Atlanta, which is 5. So these two teams yesterday, it went the other way for me. And I asked Reed to calculate the chances of these bets hitting for me. So Houston, 4.5. I need to go over that. So what are the chances of them getting 5 wins? And then Atlanta, what are the chances of them finishing with 4 wins?
Yeah, Atlanta could be
6
decent.
and something, dude.
So Right now, 538 projects the Falcons to finish the season at 7-10,
Oh, not even close.
and the Texans to finish the season at 3-13-1.
Okay, so there's hope here. They got it. Yeah, I mean, there's hope here. The tie hurts. The tie really hurts, but there's hope here for the Texans.
They got it to
Cowardly.
27-24 though on the plus. They were +5 or whatever.
Yeah.
After being down 27-7,
Oh,
thought we were in great shape.
heartbreaker. And a
in great
heartbreaker to hear
shape.
about those numbers, man. Real heartbreaker to hear about those numbers. Let's go Miller Lite mentions and wrap this thing up, guys.
Best plane ride, Chris.
Yeah, because of Dr. Tickle, but also best plane ride. I want to go. Jets, because they flew around that storm, didn't they? Like they were down in Pittsburgh. They kind of got to. I remember flying home yesterday. We got up to 10,000 feet or 15,000 feet or whatever. Maybe it was 20,000.
And it was sunny.
And I hadn't seen the sun in 2 days,
Yes,
man.
Same thought yesterday. on my
You know,
flight.
so best plane ride. I'm gonna go Jets because they played close to home. They won. Quick flight, and they didn't have to go through the hurricane. Maybe they did.
You know, I haven't been on an airplane since 2019.
Really?
Yeah. How about that?
That probably feels good.
Another thing about me, turbulence, not bothered by it.
Not anymore.
Like social interaction, sure, but
Yeah.
turbulence, nah.
Yeah.
All good.
Turbulence is fun.
You're not a human being. is
Once
what you're
somebody
telling me.
explained it to me like this, it's like being on a boat
Yeah.
and going over waves. I was like, all right, cool.
Except there's no water and you're in a plane.
Yeah. You can sink fast.
I'm giving it to those Seattle Seahawks. I think
Yeah.
Pete Carroll's fun on a plane as long as he's not talking conspiracy theories. I think Gino's probably fun on a plane. DK's fun on a plane. Poona Ford is fun on a plane.
Yeah.
And this also, Michael Dixon, the punter, is fun on a plane. And it gives me an opportunity to do my favorite
You got any other roster
geography
members?
lesson, Kyle. Did you know that Detroit, from which they were flying, is farther west than Atlanta?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay. Do you think Detroit is farther west than Cincinnati, Ohio?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you think it's farther west than Knoxville, Tennessee?
Yes.
Do you think it's farther west than Tallahassee, Florida?
That's a good question.
Tallahassee.
No.
Yes.
Detroit is.
They're all yes.
Wait. What were we saying?
You said is Detroit further west than Tallahassee?
No, Detroit is farther east than all of those.
East.
All of those.
Okay,
It's,
so
it's damn near Toronto.
Well, it's
Canada.
It's a
damn near
5-hour
Windsor,
flight.
dude. It's near Windsor.
Everything
It's a
in the
5-hour
giant,
flight.
everything in the Great Lakes is so foreign to me.
Okay. Put
North of
more
Chicago.
simply, Atlanta, more west than Detroit. Knoxville, more west than Detroit.
Yes.
Tallahassee, more west than Detroit.
Yeah.
The first one I said.
Yeah. I knew what
Cincy,
we were
more
just
west than
guessing. We
Detroit.
knew. Yeah.
Y'all knew.
We knew. Well,
Detroit-
you've done this on
Detroit
the
is
pod before.
literally-
You've legitimately done this on the pod.
Okay, here's
before.
another one. Boston and
You can
Austin
see Canada from the hotel
are the
in
only
Detroit.
two U.S. state capitals that rhyme. Another geography fact.
That's good, man. So, Kyle, you got any best and worst flights?
Yeah, best flight, which wasn't a flight, was DK Metcalf riding the cart to the locker room to piss.
Oh, shit. I think he had to shit.
Not
Maybe he had to
injured.
pee out of his
He
butt.
had a poop injury.
He had to pee out of his butt.
Worst
And
flight.
reminds me of Paul Pierce. Now the Paul Pierce thing makes sense.
Real.
Like he did it open. He did an open Paul Pierce. You know, Paul Pierce was like, man, my leg exploded. But he had to shit, right?
Yeah, well, he had already done a little.
He had pooped a little
Yeah.
bit. Respect to DK Metcalf for being confident enough in himself to tell everybody that he had to shit really bad, because that's a personal detail, right?
DK 7 for 149.
And had to shit.
Yep.
And a turd.
Worst flight, Kyle.
Worst flight. That would have to be the UVA Cavaliers coming back from Duke.
Well, I got some good news for you.
Bus ride?
Yeah.
Well,
We don't have we're not winning enough games to have the budget to be flying from
I actually
Durham.
love the bus
that just
rides.
worked out artistically great, didn't it?
Yeah,
The way that just happened.
it did.
Both your flights were grounded.
It did.
Yeah.
I'll go worst flight.
Okay.
Jameis Winston on the way back from New Orleans, or not New Orleans, on the way back from London, because of his transverse fracture. He has a transverse fracture.
Hadn't been home in 2 weeks.
I've been home in weeks.
Oh, a fortnight. Say fortnight.
A fortnight.
Yeah.
Hadn't been home in a fortnight.
And Andy Dalton's out there cooking.
Well, not cooking, but like the burner's at least on.
It's prepping.
Yeah, the burner's it's sizzling. When you let it sizzle.
Chopping onions.
What do they call that? When you leave something on, like you get some.
You got it on like low simmer. Yeah, simmer.
Andy Dalton simmering.
Yep.
So it can't feel good going back over the Atlantic with a bunch of fucked up shit in your back.
I'll go Cleveland Browns leaving Atlanta. Fourth quarter lead, had a chance to go to 3-1. We're just waiting for Deshaun to come back. I mean, I think Cleveland is potentially good.
Yeah.
But you got to close out games against Atlanta.
Yeah.
So that's you're flying back home to Cleveland.
What's great is Cleveland's losing, and they this was the easy part of their schedule, right? This was like the first 6 games.
Panthers, Jets, Steelers, Falcons.
And they're losing.
Yep. 2-2.
Yeah.
What do we got? Hollow Man?
Hollow Man. Okay.
Hollow Man is Antonio Brown's friend group.
Oh, I have that as the
I know he's gonna be involved
the
in many
visitors
ways here.
in Dubai that paid a hella money to go stay in Dubai at some nice hotel, and you got to see Antonio Brown's dick. You got to see Antonio Brown's meat. Can I interest you in some of our breakfast meats?
Hollow Man, the blurring technology.
What?
The Pixelator.
Hollow Man, because you want to see it?
No, I'm just saying we saw it. Is the
Yeah,
point.
you can see it. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, the Pixelator didn't do a very good job, but the Pixelator really never does. You can always tell what's going on there, man. I mean, he had a tweet that he said people should call up Antonio Brown because of the way he's exposing Ds.
That's amazing.
The better tweet was stretching the D. He was pulling that thing, dude. And so viewing party for me was like, who are the people that were sitting there and what were they thinking, dude? Were you thinking like, it's incomprehensible that
Did
a guy
they know
pulls
who
his
he
dick
was
out of
there?
the pool? I don't know.
In Dubai, I just heard Giannis Antetokounmpo talk about being in Sweden and nobody knew who the fuck he was. Can you imagine
Yeah,
being
but he's
Antonio
a rap
Brown
artist,
in Dubai?
so
Do you think
a lot of people buy singles.
Did I pronounce that correctly?
You did.
Wow.
when he puts his
I've never said it out loud.
Now you have.
his rear end in this woman's face, do you think she is known
What?
to Antonio Brown?
Is that real?
Yeah, that's real.
Oh, I thought it was a coffee bean. That's his butt.
That's the beginning of the video.
Yeah, it's not good behavior, man. I know, like, a lot of people joke about this stuff.
It's
but, like,
awful.
Whipping your dick out in a public place.
You're an
like,
NFL player.
You know, I know we laugh a lot of Antonio Brown's behavior away, and like the younger generation, there seems to be no standard for behavior anymore. And if you can ball or you have clout, like, people just eat it up no matter what. So that's what we got going on.
This is an example of what not to be. And when I say Hollow Man being his friend group, and this is for the young fans of this, fucking be there for your friends who are doing dumb shit on the internet. We all have friends. Chris has been the first to text me and say, you shouldn't be tweeting that. You look like you're like a crazy person on the internet.
Yeah, you shouldn't be whipping your
when
dick out in the pool.
when I get carried away on Twitter or anything. Like,
when you literally carried me away.
I have carried
from
you
that
out of
from
a
that
pool.
Vegas pool party.
You were clothed.
Hollow Man has been discussed. Rashad White, who got plenty of run later in that game, but the tone was set with that fumble on the opening kickoff.
My Hollow Man, a drunken Chris Long at 3 a.m. eating an egg salad sandwich at a 7-Eleven under an awning, and there's just the hurricanes coming down, and I'm just alone eating an egg salad sandwich. Connor and Bo had gone home. I had to go back out and get dip. I was just 3 sheets to the wind, and all I could really, there's so many options in the 7-Eleven at 3 a.m. There's so many chips. And I opted for an egg salad sandwich, bro.
Very you.
Like, honestly, I need to I need to detox myself.
and not a Wawa. Aren't there
This
Wawas
happened-
all
yeah,
over the
yeah.
place?
Well, you know, I'm a 7-Eleven guy. I know that's sacrilege to a lot of people up there, but like, I just didn't grow up with Wawa. They're like, but what about the sandwiches? I'm like, you eat gas station sandwiches? Not only that, I'm fresh off of me, Connor, and Bo getting turned away at a bar at 2:45 in the morning because we were too old and we were just
Too
3
drunk,
guys.
too late, or too many dudes?
Too many dudes.
Got it.
Like 3 former Philadelphia Eagles standing in the fucking rain.
So the bar wasn't closing.
Oh no.
You
That's
just got turned away.
amazing.
I watched 2 fucking little
Some
short guys
sports
with
town.
Did one of you three say
No,
that
it's
you
just
played
shitty.
for the Philadelphia Eagles?
didn't say a word.
Okay.
I just made sure, you know me, Kyle. The guy turned me away and they had this like tent that they were standing under, so I just stood in the tent. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to stay dry.
I'm here
And they were
now.
like, this is our tent. And so I moved over to the next tent and stood right on the edge of their tent for like 30 minutes, just eating my egg salad.
You have to
sandwich.
go buy a pack of cigs and gas them out. You just smoke in their tent.
No, I just was obnoxious as fuck.
Yeah, that's one way.
I was like,
Chemical
yeah,
warfare.
you're still going to be working here in 20 minutes. I'm going to be eating an egg salad sandwich.
You're
So who's the fucking winner now? Huh? It should be like, honorary captain, guys. Not letting the honorary captain into this shitty nightclub, dude. We shouldn't even be here. So that was my hollow man.
I called you about 1 p.m. on Saturday. It was like a one-way conversation with
Yeah, it didn't sound
on
good,
the other
dude.
side. It was
not good.
it was bad.
I wasn't vomiting, but I just couldn't breathe.
Yeah, that was a coughing. Yeah,
Yeah, I couldn't
coughing
breathe.
sound.
Can I do a fly on the wall?
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to do a fly on the wall for the what I assume to be the Oxford, Mississippi drunk tank for when all those idiots have to come in after the game.
Oh, their dads were there right away.
But like, who is it? Does it look like a St. Anne's Belfield carpool line? You
Pretty
know,
much.
a bunch of Tahoes.
Yeah, dads.
Yeah.
There, right
Lawyers,
away.
dads.
Fly on the wall, serious one, the protocols. What's going on with the protocols? What's being talked about behind closed doors?
It was everybody was taken out short of Cameron Brate right away this week.
Oh, asshole of the week, the official that fucking gave the Bucks a penalty because Brate was out there seeing stars, couldn't
Good
get
call.
off the field.
Good call.
The week after the Tua thing,
Yep.
you're gonna call a penalty on these guys?
Asshole of the week, James Madison University.
Whoa.
They
I know
are
where
Fuck
this is
happened
going.
there, Reed?
they're printing, Chris,
Yeah.
9/9/23 T-shirts, which is the date of the game next year when they play Virginia. Now Virginia's down bad.
Oh,
and
they're
JMU,
they're never going on America's team again.
they're printing T-shirts right now that say 9/9/23.
Mostly because
on
you
them.
should aim higher, dude.
Yeah,
Like James Madison, the fucking guy, I don't know anything that he did.
that's not a little brother
Lizzo played his
complex.
flute
But he definitely, yeah, Lizzo did play his flute.
and
But-
played it well.
Played it well, but that and I bet you James Madison wouldn't have had a fucking T-shirt with a team with a team on it that just lost to Duke.
And you
James
can
Madison.
get those T-shirts for $19.95 on OneRockin.com.
That's
Fix the audio, Reed. I couldn't hear that. I want to game ball. We talked about it, the Philly thing, homerism, but the Hassan Reddick stuff that we, like big plays, man, big plays. I know he'd been waiting to have his signature game. You want that game, as a new guy who's making a lot of money, and he forced 2 fumbles yesterday.
And I'm going to give mine to A.J. Brown. Same game. Showed up, played big, played physical.
Also a dad. Had a kid
Give me the
this week.
scoop.
Had a kid
Okay,
this week.
congratulations, A.J. Brown.
Public knowledge.
Well, I'm not public to private knowledge,
yeah.
privy
Yeah.
to private.
Yeah.
game ball. Jamie Gillen, Scottish Hammer, Giants win.
A.J. Brown's wife being pregnant wasn't in my scouting report, Chris.
I care about babies.
And I wasn't at the tailgate.
Bevel Conway.
Oh, Bevel Conway, the Ole Miss end zone.
Okay, I was getting some Confederate flag vibes, if I'm being honest.
Wow. Aren't you the Thomas Jefferson fan?
I love Thomas Jefferson.
Okay. You're like okay with everything he did?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't see me waving any Confederate flags in his end zone.
Dude.
Bevel Conway, NC State quarterback Devin Leary looked great. Looks like a Madden creative player, honestly. I think I'm going to give my game ball to, with all the cut-ins with Aaron Judge, we get to see his face a lot and his teeth. He got his teeth redone at some point in his career.
Yeah.
I looked at before and afters. A lot of times Hollywood, professional athletes, they get the fake teeth and they're too much.
Yeah.
It's like CGI.
Yeah, it's too much.
Aaron Judge has found the happy medium. It looks natural. It looks perfect.
Your dentist's name is Crentist.
How do you go into a
Pickle.
a veneer shop and you're like, yeah, just don't fuck it up. Like, don't give me the ones that you usually do.
I would like the home run champ smile, please.
I like me and you and him, everybody, the way God made us, know?
Yeah, for sure. Aaron Judge, can you get it over with so that, when I'm hungover laying in the bed, when you called me, bro, Aaron Judge is popping into the TV left and right, dude. People are walking him. He's getting hit by a pitch. It's fucking, I'm trying to watch college football here.
A lot of people have issue with that.
They got to play the teams that are out of it. Baltimore, not laying down. They're not, I don't care. We're not here for Aaron Judge. We're trying to fucking get him to dance.
Got the Rangers Monday night. We got
The Rangers.
Martin Perez on the bump, as I like to say.
On the hill.
Martin's not going to give it up. That's a stone cold lock.
Okay.
Bevel Conway,
Yeah.
you said yours. I got a couple college games for you. UCLA Washington looked good again. Washington has an odd shoulder stripe. Rose Bowl always looks great. Michigan Iowa looked good.
Yeah.
Colors. Penn State Northwestern looked great. Rain, Hurricane. Texas West Virginia. That's what 2 college unis should look like. LSU Auburn. Somebody tweeted about this at Jordan Hare. I liked it, but I don't like when you have the small font name of your team above your number. When it's big and in your face, like Texas or Sooners or State.
Yeah.
I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, during your time at Virginia, you wore a very like size 8 font Cavaliers. It said Cavaliers, which is even
Times
worse.
New Roman.
I see that often
12.
on the backs of the jerseys on names. It's like the font is way too small.
And I saw it last night. Even Tampa Bay has Buccaneers over the number. That works because it's big enough. But it's a little tiny Auburn and a little tiny LSU.
Can I give you a red light?
Yeah, dog.
Fucking Saints, black lids, dude. You
Awful.
go all the way to
Ugly.
London.
Awful.
Did you fucking forget to bring your gold lids? You put on the
Awful.
most beautiful uniform. Might have been a Bevel Conway, even despite the purple uniforms and everything.
Those look great.
Yeah, you like them.
Yep.
Are we hard on the Vikings on this show?
Well, not me. You know, I got them in the
Am
Super
I hard on the
Bowl.
Vikings on this show?
Sometimes. I almost jumped in for Skull Nation yesterday when you were going
that would
in.
sound about right.
When you were going in.
Coolest cheer,
You're definitely
I
not
think,
on
in
my
the NFL.
side in many things, but yeah,
I just retweeted something about you.
thanks you. I appreciate it. Thank you. So here's the deal.
You're my honorary captain.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The black helmets are fucking ugly, Saints. Don't wear those again
Cheeks.
when you wear those beautiful all white get-ups.
I was even thinking the fleur-de-lis might need a bit of a renovation, not a major renovation, but maybe it needs to get a little thicker. That
did I have the
fleur-de-lis.
Vikings in the playoffs this year?
I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
You know, another uni that y'all don't like that I like
Yeah.
for some reason. It doesn't make sense that I like it. It's the Jags, and Philly Jags look cool in the rain.
Yeah, the rain looks awesome.
But my award goes to Giants Bears. Giants were in the
last thing,
throwbacks with the
Giants, Bears. Oh, yeah.
Bears Classic always.
I just didn't know you. I thought you were giving
GSH.
out your award.
George Hallis. I was building up
Okay,
to
it was a good build up.
GSH.
I thought the Lions WCF stood for Wayne C. Fonts. It doesn't. It's
Oh, yeah, that was funny as shit.
William Clay Ford.
That was funny as shit.
Yep.
Shout out to Wayne Fonts.
Wayne
Who
Fonts.
invented Times New Roman?
Nah, he invented.
Good.
Yeah, he did.
That's good.
Yeah, Wayne Fonts. That's good.
That's good.
I don't know what else to say, but that's good. Hey, green light, real quick. Green light, backlit TVs. It's a new trend.
Very cool.
Backlit TVs. Shout out to Joe, my brother-in-law. He had a beautiful backlit TV. It's easy on the eyes, man.
And what does that mean?
It's like white LED light behind your TV that casts light on the wall behind the TV. So it softens. I think it's good for your retina.
Cool.
And like Tua, on the way back, they should have had a backlit TV watching MacGruber. But that was a beautiful, beautiful setup. I'm gonna get a backlit TV. I'm green lighting that. So if you're at home, you have one. If you know, you know.
Red light, blue light.
What's that? Just generally, you just don't like it. It keeps you awake at night
Yeah, it's the harmful.
as your brain's pinballing around at night.
harmful light.
Listen to the full podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast streaming platforms. Wherever you want to get the podcast, you can get the podcast. Pretty simple. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Podcasts get pretty wild. This is real tame.